Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Front Row Access Podcast. I am your host, Steven Russo.
I'm Anthony Gonzalez.
Let's fucking get it. All right, guys. It's been a minute.
Yeah, lots of news, lots of developments.
We got lots of news, lots of development, a couple of questionable things that may or may not have gone down. We have now successfully survived the hangover of the UFC Whitehouse card. And we're going to be talking all about that shit today. So, first off, though, Ant, let's talk about the Whitehouse card, seeming as that's going to be the probably the main chunk of this episode after we're done with this intro part. What'd you think of the good old UFC?
Very happy with UFC 250.
Hell yeah! So, it was a great card. We're gonna recap all the action. We had a couple of crazy shits happen on that one. Speaking of America's 250th anniversary, Narragansett Brewing, located in Providence, Rhode Island, has a special edition can of the Narragansett Lager. I don't know if you guys that are watching this outside of Rhode Island have access to this one or not. I think a few of you do. But excellent Narragansett Lager. So before we get into most of this shit today, we're going to crack open this fucking beer, and we're gonna take the beer break early. So that was actually kind of crispy, I can't lie. All right, not too bad. All right, cheers. Here we go. Front Row Access Beer Break, one of my favorite segments that we do on here. So, Narragansett Lager. It's a local. What do you think about it?
That shit's tasty and crisp. It's not leaving like that pungent after-y taste that you get with some of these things.
Yep, definitely.
I'm really happy with it.
What do you rate it on the scale of 1 to 10?
I'll be honest, it's like an 8.5 going up to a 9.
I'm right with you there. I got an 8 for this one. Narragansett Lager, guys. It's our homegrown favorite over here on Rhode Island. It's a local. It used to actually be brewed in the town of Narragansett, but that brewery closed down. They reopened over in Providence. So the brewery does in fact still exist, which is excellent. They have a ton of cool beers that are coming out of there. They got this. They got the Fresh Catch IPA. They've got all this loveliness coming out of Narragansett Brewing. So, gotta say, it's good beer, guys. It's if you want just easy drinking, it's cheap. I paid $20 for 18 of them. Wasn't too bad. And
they're very nice.
They're very nice. And plus, we have a limited edition can for the America's 250th birthday. And that being said, we have should we start with the news? Should we start with the Whitehouse card? What should we do?
I'd say news, probably.
Yeah, alright, guys. So if you guys haven't seen what's been trending around the internet right now, everybody talking about Dustin Poirier for all the wrong reasons. As you guys know over here on the Front Row Access Podcast, Dustin Poirier is my favorite fighter, and this was not good. This was not good.
A moment.
It definitely was a moment, and definitely not the Diamond's brightest moment.
Some people did capitalize on it.
It is true, but nah. Strictly, let's put it like this. It's Father's Day. Dustin Poirier was having a rip-roaring time because the fight got delayed. So, he was having a rip-roaring time at the airport bar, and he was acting a fool on the plane, got kicked off the plane. They called the cops in on him. He tried to fight a cop. He said a few racial slurs, a barrage of cusses, you know.
These are certainly things that happened.
So not a very good look for Dustin the Diamond Poirier. Does this one moment particularly change my opinion on Dustin Poirier? Not really. I mean, I'm not in any way excusing what Dustin did. I mean, you shouldn't be getting that drunk, acting a fool, and trying to fight police officers and shit, and saying racial slurs to people that are of that certain race. So, that's not cool, Dustin, and that's definitely not something that I'm going to try to excuse you for, because that's just inexcusable. I can't really do that. But I do think there's a reason behind the acting out for Dustin Poirier. I think since retiring, there's no retirement plan for these fighters, guys. There's literally no retirement plan for these guys. They just do it, and that's it. And for those of y'all that might not know what like a life of a fighter might be like, I mean, I'm not a competitive fighter myself, but I've heard plenty of fighters state that fighting's kind of like an addiction, you know. And I can even say I'm not a fighter, but I can tell you that if I don't train for a few weeks, I start getting really, really bitchy. So, I mean, I can definitely see where they're coming from, because, like, it's what keeps us sane and what keeps us level. So when you lose that, and like every single day you're waking up, you wanting to do something better. You want to see how. Let's see a new combo I can land. I'm trying to be the best. What's my next fight? I'm trying to get the world title. That's what you're thinking about for the past 20 years, almost 15, 20 years almost. I mean, Dustin Poirier, I think, made his UFC debut in 2009. He's fighting on the amateur circuit before that. So, like, 15-ish years, you're out here just getting up every day, grinding, running, jumping, training, punching, kicking, grappling. You do that, and then all of a sudden, nothing. You lost what the goal you were working towards was. And, bless you.
I
Yo,
would say
good?
it's I would say it's not even just that. Bad over here. Because it's also the stopping from doing that. It's the getting out of the habit, not being sure what exactly you're going to be doing after the fact, because they don't really plan for that. I mean, very few fighters would, because it's one of those goals you chase, and so without that motivation, you're left adrift, is what I would say the best wording would be.
Yeah,
That's
for sure. You lose your way. You really do lose your way. And when you've been fighting for as long as Dustin has, for as long as some of these guys have, and you lose it, I mean, Dustin does great on the desk. He has the podcast now with Coach Dean Thomas, Chris Weidman, and Jorge Masvidal. I'm listening to it almost weekly at this point, so it's a very good podcast. Check it out if you can. I'm
it's almost as good as ours.
almost, not quite, but almost. But it's a great podcast, and I definitely recommend you go and listen to it. But yeah, no, I mean, he has all these things, but they're not what he wants in a way. It's not giving him the same like satisfaction in a way, and I think that's part of the reason why he was acting out. Now, I'm not trying to say like, oh, Dustin should like completely be okay with this because he should be okay with this, and this is acceptable behavior because he's lost. No, I'm not saying that. What I'm telling you is there's a reason behind why he acted out, and that was the reason. A lot of people, I would beg, maybe men more so, need some sort of purpose and some kind of job to work towards in order for us to feel satisfied, like we're actually helping and going, like, building, like, helping build the community and whatnot. I mean, not that a woman doesn't do that, but I would say especially, like, definitely for a man too. Like, that's something that we strive to do, and he's lost all of that. Now, Dustin's a lot of other things, right? He's a husband, he's a father, two babies now. He's got his daughter, his oldest, and then he's got his new son. And now and of course, his wife, who's been with him since he was like fucking, I don't even know, like 16, something like that. So when you have that stuff, it's great, and that gives you a reason to get up every day and be better. But he doesn't have that thing that is just him. And that was what fighting was for him, I believe. It's just like that was his thing. Like I love my wife, I love my kids, stuff like that, and I'm not in any way saying that it mattered more, but like he lost his thing. It was like martial arts was this thing that followed him around all the time. This thing that he was always, striving to be, striving to do and whatnot. And he lost it. Even before he met his wife, before he had his family, he had fighting, you know? So it's like, I don't know, man. Dustin, I hope you get all the help you need, buddy. I mean, that was pretty stupid what you did. I can't lie to you. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and defend your actions because your actions are not defendable by any means. You shouldn't be doing that. That's not acceptable behavior, but I'm also here to tell you that you got to do better, and I know you can. You know, and if by the off chance Dustin Poirier is somehow watching this, just you got to find something that gets you going, man. Like you need something, you need a hobby, you need something that's outside of work, outside of like your family obligations, stuff like that. Something that you just do on your own. Even if it's just a little bit, like go golf with Justin Gaethje or something. Justin Gaethje's pretty fucking good at golf, guys. So like pick up something. Go to church. I don't know. Don't go turn into the bottle whenever you need a little bit of excitement. No, I'm not saying I like being drunk as much as the next guy. Of course I do. But we all do. We're drinking beer here on the podcast. There's been a couple podcasts where Ant and I are feeling pretty good. So I mean, I like being drunk as much as the next guy. But when it gets to that level, when you're acting a fool and being stupid, it shouldn't. You gotta stop. I don't know, man. Any other feelings on the Dustin situation while I go and grab my phone?
I think a great exercise for people is to put themselves in the position of you're done with the thing you've been doing your whole life. Say, for some reason or other, you're not doing it any longer, you don't need to, or you're not forced to, or you're just past the prime in it. How lost do you think you'd feel? And I feel like that's what a lot of people experience eventually, and they need something to keep striving for. Obviously, you got your family and whatnot, but that's kind of not something you're chasing. That's something you're keeping up with doing, maintaining. So I feel like if people are lost like that, it's very easy for them to act out in some way or another.
And I think that's exactly what happened to Dustin Poirier. I mean, even in interviews since his fighting, everybody asks, like, how's retirement going? He goes, I have good days. I also have bad days where I'm an endangerment to myself, stuff like that. And he was literally, it wasn't like this is some, like, random thing he did. He's admitted that he's struggling a little bit since leaving the fight game. He's admitted that he's not as active within it anymore, that he's not as, stable, and that he has good days and he has his bad days, and he's got days where he's really good, days where he's really bad, and I think that's just what happens. Because I mean, fighting, like I mentioned off the top, is addicting. And it's like he tried to quit fighting cold turkey, and now he's just struggling to find something else. And I think that's a struggle that unfortunately a lot of people, because I'm predicting a whole lot of retirements coming in the next couple of years. So, and especially like the big guys that we've been talking about for the past like 10-ish years. Your Gaethjes, your Charles Oliveira's, your Dustin Poirier. Dustin's already gone. Your Kamaru Usman's. Your Leon Edwards is, I don't know if that's the correct plural there, but it's like all these guys that we've known and loved and watched the better part of a decade are starting to go. So it makes you a little bit worrisome for them and like how they're going to handle it. Like I hope they got backup plans, because it seems like Dustin did it and he didn't really have a backup plan. Even like Max Holloway, he's probably gonna be on his way out soon. Conor McGregor probably gonna be on his way out soon.
Wait,
So
is Greggy back?
Greggy is supposedly back, but I'm not expecting that to happen until they're both in the cage, doors closed, and the bell rings. Then I'm gonna be like, holy fucking shit, this is happening.
Even that, when it comes to Greg specifically, I think it's more like a cash grab for now.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what this is.
I think a good use of obviously I have no say in any of this shit. But I feel like a good use of their energies after retiring is mentorship, and I don't mean that like a coach. I mean that like a mentor to a student.
Like trying to help other lost kids
Yeah.
type deal. Because most fighters are usually like troubled kids, that didn't really have an outlet and that didn't have much privilege and opportunities, and fighting was their only one. So then they made something of it, and that's cool. So that mentorship program, being like inspirational speakers or something like that, or doing like being active within the community, is probably something that you could definitely do. But fighters after retirement, guys, this is something that we got to talk about a lot, because there's no retirement plan for these guys. And it's tough because when you're living the same lifestyle for so long, it's like, what do I do now? You know? It's like you lost your purpose. It'd be like me giving up fucking writing articles. It'd be me giving up this entire sport, essentially. You know? Because that wouldn't be good. That would not be good. If I
Well,
if
then
I,
you focus on your yo-yoing. You haven't done that in a while.
That is true. I haven't yo-yoed in a bit, but here's the thing. I'm at the point with my yo-yo skills where it's going to take me weeks, if not months on end to learn new tricks, because it's just so much commitment. I don't got enough time for that. Not that I'm saying that yo-yo is bad and I don't like playing with my yo-yo still. I got one over there chilling. I've got another one over there chilling. Like, I still will throw my yo-yo around a little bit. And if you guys are OG followers of mine before I even started this shit, when I was just running it on TikTok, oh, y'all, that was all I did. That was all I did. I just yo-yoed and made funny skits all day because I was bored and didn't know what the fuck to do with myself. So that's what I did. I gotta say, 2020 Steven was a content making genius, though. But now it's tougher now because this is our first podcast in what 3 weeks ish.
Yeah, it's been about that.
3 weeks ish since we were last in the chairs with our fuck ass mic set up. Not that these mics.
Hey,
are
we
bad.
got the program working.
We got it.
We're doing good.
We got it back.
This thing's charged, hopefully.
Yes, I mean I haven't heard anything yet. Knock on wood. But that being said, we're gonna turn into Dustin Poirier being said. Like obviously, be all end all, hands clean, cut and dry. Dustin Poirier, what you did was stupid. You shouldn't have done that. That was idiotic. You shouldn't have done that. But I hope you're working on yourself. I hope you're getting better. I'm not gonna excuse what you did, but I don't think you should let this define you. Because there's so many other people in the UFC that have been in so much worse trouble, John Jones, that have pretty much ruined their image with their actions outside of John Jones. So I was like, God damn, my allergies are acting up, man. So you know,
heard mine go off earlier.
so I think this is not. It's just a setback for now, and I think Dustin should be working on himself and trying to find other things that can excite him again. You know. Because
as a side note, and in the spirit of capitalism, let's see about that genius marketing by Colby.
Yeah, so Colby Covington wasted absolutely no time shitting on Dustin Poirier for this one. Like within the first hour of this story being out, like maybe hour, 2 hours, fucking max. Like this motherfucker Colby Covington hops on the fucking TikTok channel, and he's like, America's champ is back to give a cheers and to give a toast to Father of the Year, Dustin Poirier. Got arrested because nothing says role model like being arrested for public intoxication and I'm like, oh my God, Colby.
Marketing, guys.
And then he said, anything. And once you get out of the slammer dust, I'm going to send you a case of Real American Beer Zero. You know, where you can still drink and be social and not get blackout drunk all the time. So he goes, when you're out of the slammer, I'll send you a pallet, buddy. You know. So Colby Covington, this motherfucker, who's also got a DUI on his record. I am not going to let anybody forget the fact that Colby Covington has a DUI on his record. Went and made a fucking non-alcoholic beer ad off of Dustin Poirier acting a fool, being drunk at the fucking airport. Oh my God. I'm like, fuck you, Colby, but that was so smart.
That marketing.
That was so smart. I can't, look, man, Colby, all due respect to you, brother, but fuck you respectfully. But I gotta say, game recognizes game, and that was the perfect opportunity to market your product. So, I mean, that was top notch, my dude. I will give you that one, and good luck against Armin July 18th for in the RAF event. If you guys haven't watched Colby Covington and RAF yet, you totally should. He's actually, guys, he looks like shit in the MMA cage now. He's like actually garbage. But he'll still kick my ass any day of the week. But he has been doing the Real American Freestyle Wrestling, that new wrestling promotion that's going on. It gets a lot of UFC fighters on. And Colby's really fucking good at wrestling, guys. Like he's still really that's his sport, you know. That's where he started. That's that was his base in which he built his MMA game around.
That's how he was undefeated for so long.
Yeah, it was his wrestling. And Colby Covington is now going back to his roots and being, you know, a wrestler again. And he's like, wow, holy shit, this guy's fucking good. You know, you guys should totally go ahead and watch some of the fucking chain wrestling that this fucking guy can do. I gotta give so much credit to the skill. Colby, you are an excellent wrestler, dude. You really are. So, keep it up, and good luck against Armin. Armin's a very talented wrestler in his own right, but we're going to see if Armenian wrestling or American freestyle wrestling is going to get the job done here. So, good luck to you, Colby. And, yeah, that's the Dustin Poirier situation. Ah, man. So, figured we go into the quick little UFC Whitehouse recap, since we didn't do that yet. Let's start with the elephant in the room. Your new UFC undisputed lightweight champion of the world is Justin the Highlight Gaethje.
Hell yeah.
Oh my fucking word. Anthony, we were so wrong. We were so wrong yet again.
It was everything we hoped for.
It was. We were so wrong for all the right reasons. You know, we both, I think, called an early ass finish for Ilia Topuria. Essentially totally said, Justin Gaethje, you're dead. you know? And we were
That's
like, we're
right.
rooting for you, but you're dead. And then we get in the cage, right? And it's pretty even through the first round, I'd say. The second round was all Taporia. That body shot was nasty. I'm surprised Justin Gaethje stayed upright.
I had called the second round. That dude's fucking scary.
Yeah, and like that, if you guys go back and you watch that fucking body hook that Ilya Taporia landed on Justin Gaethje, that would put out 98% of UFC fighters on the planet. Not Justin Gaethje, though, because Justin Gaethje's just that motherfucker. So, he's just that motherfucker.
Really, he kind of jinxed himself there, though. He's like, oh, I just got this one fight left. This one.
But man, it was pretty even through round one. Justin Gaethje was able to stuff a couple of takedowns, which I was impressed by. I mean, we saw what he could do with the takedowns when he went against Patty, when he stuffed it and he kind of held him in that front headlock and he just started punching him. Like, I was hoping to see more of that from Gaethje, and that is exactly what we got. He was able to hold Taporia down, not let him advance, kind of hold him in position, get his ground and pound going. And this was just, I mean, he got fucking whooped in round two. Don't get me wrong. That was all Ilya Taporia. But round three, or round four, eventually when the finish came, that was insane. Justin Gaethje, you're a fucking dog, dude. He just said, yeah. He's like, yeah, I'm the heavy underdog going into this. I'm about to make one particular motherfucker really fucking rich right now, you know. So he went out there and, Gaethje's just got that fucking dog in him, dude. I don't know what it is about these old ass UFC fighters in their last title shot putting on performance of the year against fucking generational talent. I mean, you saw it with Dustin and Islam. I mean, granted, Dustin came up short, but that was an excellent fight for Dustin Poirier. That was by far the best Dustin Poirier I've ever seen in his entire fighting career. And just, that fucking ankle pick. But, if he just survived 2.5 more minutes, we would have heard and knew, and it would have been Dustin Poirier. My nerves would have been calm. I wouldn't have thrown up outside the Prudential Center. I wouldn't have done any of that. So, but, that's not what happened. But that was still excellent performance from Dustin Poirier. And then here's Justin Gaethje in easily the last fucking title fight of his career. Like, ain't no way this motherfucker's climbing the mountain again. If he'd have lost right there, we probably would have said goodbye to Justin Gaethje that night, And, on the Whitehouse lawn, hang up the gloves, honestly, call it a career at that. That's good,
Yeah.
But, nah, this motherfucker said, nah, I'm not quite done yet. I still want that belt. So, he went in there and just absolutely outdogged the fuck out of Ilya Taporia. Did you see Ilya Taporia's face at the end of that fucking fight? It was like out to here.
I was gonna say, I might have been mistaken, but you said that the finish came in fourth round. Didn't the corner actually throw in the gloves to protect Ilya?
Yeah, they threw in the towel in between the fourth and the fifth
Yeah.
round. So technically that'd be considered a finish in the fourth round.
Yeah.
Just at the end of it.
But it wasn't like a not like an actual knockout. He's out. It wasn't like the ref called it. No, his corner said,
nah,
yeah,
he's done.
we're gonna go home.
Yeah, I mean, that's honestly, as much as, like, I'm happy that happened because Justin Gaethje got the belt off of a corner stoppage, that is something that I think more UFC coaches need to do. Because, there's a lot of times when I feel these motherfuckers are getting too beat up to the point that you're giving them unnecessary damage in their young careers.
Yeah, I'm in 100% agreement with that. It's
Yeah.
just that for the corners, it's like the name, like, oh, well, they can't be that good. Their coach always throws the towel in because they get their ass whooped,
Yeah.
I feel like that's how a lot of people would take in. That would hurt their careers in the long run because it's like you're undervaluing exactly what the coach and the fighter think.
And it's just so weird to me. It's like, honestly, the job of the coach, more than the job of the referee, is to protect their fighter, Because if you're giving your fighters unnecessary damage, think about it. We go back to the Paddy Pimblett fight that Justin Gaethje had. This is another example. You go back to that Paddy Pimblett fight. In the third round, the corner could have just called it, and Paddy Pimblett was done by the third round.
That would have hurt Paddy Pimblett's reputation.
It's just, it's such a normal thing in boxing and, like, kickboxing and other combat sports. It's just not in MMA. It's so weird to me that it's not. But at the same time, I guess like that's your point though. Like it's the name value, it's the namesake, and it's not really the culture of MMA, I guess. But like, I think that's something that like corners need to protect their
Yeah,
fighter
when they
more
care more about namesake than the
than the
fighters,
fighter.
it's like,
That's a whole nother issue.
yeah, your fame is not more
Yeah,
important than your fighter. Like, no, in no
exactly.
regards is that the case.
No, because you got to protect your fighter. Like that's the person that's getting up every day and training with you. That's the guy that you're mentoring. That's the guy that you're focused on. That's the guy that you want to see succeed in any way, shape, or form, right?
Yep.
But it's just so unfortunate, that they don't do that. But honestly, shout out to Ilya Taporia and his corner. I think it was actually Alessandro Taporia that was the one that made the call. Because, I mean, Alessandro Taporia is the older brother, and that was his younger brother getting absolutely, uh, his shit kicked in.
Yep.
I mean, Anthony, you're an older sibling. I'm sure you feel very similarly if that was your brother going in there and you saw him getting beat up, you would throw in a towel, right?
Yeah, but then I'd do something illegal, and then I'd go beat up the fighter.
Yeah, I go beat up the fighter on his
They
behalf.
don't like me. They wouldn't like me to do that.
Nah, you get that. Like and even Alessandro Taporia came out and he was like, "You guys, he's Ilya Taporia, the legend to you, the matador to you, but he's my little brother, and I didn't want to see him get beat up more." So it was actually the big brother that stepped in to save his little brother, and that's honestly kind of charming, if I'm honest with you. So.
I like that a lot, but that just makes me think less of the coach for not calling it themselves.
Yeah, like,
It's
why
come
was it
on,
the brother?
motherfuckers.
Why was it the brother that had to do it? Why wasn't it the head coach that did it? Like I get it. That's Ilya Taporia in there. The dude, he can end you with one fucking punch.
I think that's also. I think that's also only because he's Ilya Taporia. He already has stock in his namesake. I don't know if like a corner would throw in the towel if they weren't already a big enough name where they have already transcended a fucking weight class and knocked out the unknockable, you know?
Yeah. Like, there's already stock. I understand it, but that was actually one hell of a performance from Justin Gaethje. What a fucking fight. And we went in there and we saw that at the end of the day, no matter how good someone is, they're still human, They're still in a fight. Anything can happen when you're in a fight, guys. And the crazy part about this shit, right? This is 2 pay-per-views in a row that we've had massive underdogs end up winning the fucking title. Like, you got it with Hamzat and Strickland back in May. Strickland getting that close-ass performance, close fight. Close, could have gone either way at the end.
Yep.
And then Strickland edging it out just that much. And then Justin Gaethje in this fight, just going in there and just saying, you know what? This is my last shot. I'm on the fucking Whitehouse lawn. It's a big-ass stage. The world's fucking watching. Let me go fuck this dude up, And then he did it, and he won. And now Justin Gaethje, at the age of 37, is your new UFC lightweight champion of the world. Guys, that was such a fucking moment. I'm down here over here on the couch, right? I am not sitting in the couch. I am not sitting on said couch. I am up on my feet. I am yelling. I am going absolutely wild. And it went so crazy. Me and my friend Quinn, at the end of the night, after we saw the belt go around Justin Gaethje, had to take a fucking lap around the neighborhood. Because we were that fucking excited that Justin Gaethje won. Anthony, I gotta say, from the outside looking in, because that night you were keeping it pretty low key. I can't lie to you. Not too bad. Not blaming you for that. Was that one of the loudest reactions you've seen me have in a while?
In a while, yeah. It was pretty loud, but it wasn't like, I don't think it was top 5.
Nah,
honestly.
wasn't top 5?
It was pretty loud for recent days and whatnot. You just remind me, though, I think, it wasn't Strickland also at the 250?
He was. He was outside of it protesting it. And then he got kicked out. He got escorted out of there by Capitol Police. Because he talks shit about Donald Trump. So, they promptly, removed him from the premises. And I'm like, damn it, dude. What are you talking about? And the fact that Dana White threatened him, that was so stupid. All right, we're getting in. That was like, this is like a completely different tangent that we're going on. Look, I am not a Strickland defender. much, but I am actually defending Strickland entirely for this shit. Like, look, guys, I'm not usually. Here's the thing about Strickland, you guys. I am not usually his biggest fan.
No.
I am not usually ever on his side about anything. But the words that he said in the leading up to the fight, what he said about the Whitehouse card and how he felt about it. I mean, whatever you felt about it, you felt about it. That's fine. I'm not here to tell you what you could or couldn't think about it. But Sean Strickland's view reflected mine about like the event being on the White House lawn, and I liked seeing Strickland actually kind of standing up again, even when like Aiden Ross was trying to tell him like, "Oh, I want you on the White House card." And he goes, "Oh, what am I gonna do? Just hang out with the fucking Epstein list?" So I'm like, holy hell, respect to Sean Strickland
You
for
try telling Strickland not to speak his mind.
Exactly.
Go for it. See how far that gets you.
He'll fucking punch you in the face. That's what he'll do.
Yeah, he'll listen.
Yeah.
Don't do this. All right, I'm gonna go do this. Wait, no, don't. No, I'm gonna do this.
Yeah, that's Strickland. And I gotta say, the fucking shout out to Sean Strickland for fucking standing up for something, dude. That was crazy. And the fact that Dana White was like, if Sean Strickland shows his face at the White House event, I'm gonna have him fired. I'm like, for expressing his right, for expressing his right to protest what was going on at the White House, like even Bryce Mitchell, another fighter that I never defend, ever, had a few choice words to say about the White House card. And it was, I'm not going to say I totally, in fact, agreed with what he said, but he made a point, and he stuck by it. And that's what I like to see, Like, I like seeing when fighters actually end up speaking their mind about things that they think, oh, the fighter's going to love this, They're like, oh, of course the fighter's going to want to fight at the UFC White House. No, they're not. No, they're not. Not every UFC fighter wants to fight in front of the U.S. government, And that is perfectly fine. You can totally believe that. I was only really watching it because that's where the fights were. And that's what it was. That's the only reason why I did it. So, it's like, but Strickland getting removed from the premises at the White House card was like, wow. It's insane. But I don't know. What did you feel about Strickland in the White House card here?
I thought it was hilarious that they thought he would listen to them.
No, no fucking hell no. Sean Strickland ain't listening to your ass.
He doesn't give a fuck what anyone else says or thinks.
Yeah, he's just gonna fucking do it. If he believes in something, he stays steadfast and he fucking does it. And I gotta say, man, cheers to you, Sean Strickland, for fucking believing in something, dude. Holy shit. Like, dude, very rare moment. Document the day. It is June. Come on, what's the date? It is June 26th, 2026. And Steven Russo just gave Strickland props and supported him. Like, dude, trust me. Like, I am never Sean Strickland's biggest fan. Ever. I'm pretty open about that, But damn, dude, I just couldn't help but feel bad. Like, he was getting, like, suppressed, for what he believed in. And I'm like, that's just not right, dude. That's not cool. It's not cool, Dana. That's not cool. And, like, shout out to you, Sean Strickland, for being a little rebel for a night. That's awesome. But overall, we also had a bit of main event aside. Now that that's out of the way, Justin Gaethje, your new UFC lightweight champion of the world. Let's talk about it. Who does he fight now?
That's a great question.
Who does he fight now? This division's wide open now. Like, anyone can fight for the belt this coming day. I got two potential matchups for Gaethje here. Guys, we're going to be talking about it a little bit later, but we have Conor McGregor and Max Holloway fighting soon. 2 weeks out from that. To when McGregor, I should rephrase, to when McGregor and Max Holloway are supposedly going to fight, because I don't believe a McGregor fight's happening until they're in there and the bell rings. And then I'm going to flip shit when it does, if it does, because I don't think it's gonna. But, Conor McGregor, Max Holloway. Also on the card, you have Benoit Saint-Denis and Paddy Pimblett. These are two matchups with pretty high-ranking lightweights in here. We got Paddy Pimblett and Benoit Saint-Denis. Obviously, Paddy Pimblett came up short his interim title fight against our current champion, Justin Gaethje. So, does this give him a rematch? I don't think so.
I'm with you there. I don't think so.
I don't think so, especially the way that Patty lost. Like, he lost to Justin Gaethje, and that is something. Even Patty has admitted. He goes, "If I win and if I beat," he's like, "If I beat I can't do a Patty impression right now. Hold on. Oh, what the hell? McGregor's coming out. Okay, I can't do Patty today. Sometimes I can do Patty, but Patty Pimblett was like, "Look, man, if I beat Benoit Saint Denis, I'm gonna try to beat Benoit Saint Denis, but I shouldn't get a rematch for this title." He said it himself. He goes, "I shouldn't get the rematch." He's like, "I got beat by Justin Gaethje. Maybe Armin should go in there if I win, stuff like that." Because Armin has been put on ice for the better part of a year now. So,
isn't Armin gonna go do fucking?
Yeah, he better go wrestle Colby Covington. I mean,
booked.
He's not like he's not keeping busy, but he's also getting absolutely cucked by the UFC and getting a title shot. This dude has one of the longest winning streaks currently, like 12-fight win streak. Armin Sarukian, and he's beaten like guys like Charles Oliveira in the process to get there, and he's just been getting cucked by the UFC like entirely. And then bless you. If Benoit ends up winning this, though, does he get the title shot against Gaethje, rather, if he beats Pimblett?
See, I like Benoit, too, but I feel like the other fight option for this night is a better matchup for this.
Yeah, so Conor McGregor and Max Holloway is your UFC lightweight championship #1 contender fight. Because especially if Max beats Conor, right? He's already got history with Justin Gaethje. One of the best knockouts that you'll ever see in UFC history was done by Max Holloway onto Justin Gaethje. So easily, Max can be like, "I have history with the champ, bro. I knocked him out on the best UFC card in recent memory,
Yep.
I knocked him out on the biggest stage I could possibly do it on. And I did it in spectacular fucking fashion. He now has the belt. Congrats to him for beating Elite Support. I couldn't beat that guy, But now I got him. I want him next, especially if it's a good performance against Conor. Especially. Max Holloway should not be shy in calling out Justin Gaethje for a rematch. And here's the thing, guys. I would love that. A Justin Gaethje and Max Holloway rematch, 2 years removed, but from the knockout, the crazy knockout, the let's go right now knockout.
For me, it's a definition of a win-win.
It is. It really is. Like, that was a great performance from Max. I mean, granted, he did break Justin Gaethje's nose early. The argument can be made that Justin Gaethje would have fought better if he could breathe better, but at the same token, that was Max's night. That was Max Holloway's night. I'm not taking that away from Max Holloway at all. Had one of the best performances in recent history against Justin Gaethje there, and ultimately, he's up 4 rounds to fucking 1 on Justin Gaethje. Round 5, he's like, let's do it, like the last 10 seconds. The hardest hitting motherfucker at 155 next to Ilya. But Ilya hadn't moved up yet. Next to Ilya, but at the time, the hardest hitting motherfucker at 155. And he said, that's just...
Let's go.
That's just balls. That's guts. That is balls. That is amazing from Max Holloway. And if he beats Conor McGregor here and we get Gaethje and Holloway too, I am so here for it. I am so down to see these two rematch 2 years later and see what would happen. But then again, who's the biggest star this sport has seen? Conor McGregor. If Conor McGregor somehow beats Max Holloway, all of a sudden we're talking about Conor McGregor again in the top, very top of lightweight. And he could easily just go on the mic and be like, "Yeah, I fucking beat the bollocks off of him, kid. Let me go and fight Gaethje, kid." And tell me, with a straight face, completely and totally serious, that you don't want to see McGregor versus Gaethje. I don't think you can. This is one of those big what-if fights that we never got. Justin Gaethje came in 2018 from Bellator, He came in, and this was also at the time when Conor McGregor was still, relevant. Justin Gaethje was winning, bless you.
Thank you.
Like nobody's business, right? He was winning. Total, like, 2018 Gaethje, 2019 Gaethje, like, that dude was winning, you know. But this was also at a time when Conor started to step away from the sport. So when Gaethje was on his rise, Conor was on his kind of coast, you know. So we never really had a scenario where Justin Gaethje could fight Conor McGregor, you know. And that's crazy because Justin Gaethje's usually your favorite fighter's favorite fighter. So, because he's just that motherfucker. Like I said at the top of this podcast, Justin Gaethje's that motherfucker. So, we never really got an opportunity, and it's remained one of the big what ifs because, like, wow, like Justin Gaethje made his rise when Conor McGregor was starting to fall. You know, there was a narrative thread between him and Poirier, obviously, because Dustin had lost to Conor, and that's what made him move to lightweight. And then Dustin went on a winning streak. He lost his undisputed title match, but then he came back, bounced back, and then he fought and got back the dude that originally sent him to that weight class. You know. So there was a narrative thread there. So obviously it makes sense that the fight was able to happen, especially after the performance that Dustin Poirier gave against Dan Hooker. You know, it basically gave him fucking physical melatonin. That's what he did. So that's still one of the best fights you'll ever watch. If you have not watched Dustin Poirier versus not Justin Gaethje, although those are good fights too. If you have not watched Dustin Poirier versus Dan Hooker, watch it. That's my favorite UFC fight to date, and nothing has beaten it. You know, but this is so. I see nothing but dollar signs if I'm Dana White with either guy winning in the main event. You know,
And this also works out for both. In regards, obviously, I would love to see Max fight Gaethje, but on the offhands that it's Conor McGregor fighting Gaethje instead, if that is a fight that's to be made, and if it actually happens, and if they're in the ring, and the bell rings, the door's closing,
whenever this hypothetical matchup between Conor McGregor and Max Holloway
could
happens,
possibly happen, we were talking about this past fight with Ilya possibly being
Gaethje's
Gaethje's last fight.
Yep.
And I know I don't have as much history as a UFC fan as a lot of the people who might be watching this, but I'm going to tell you that Conor McGregor, he likes very light fighting. He likes not having to put in the daily work. He's the prize pony. He's there for one good fight, one large paycheck, and then he'll leave and he might come back eventually. He's got other shit to do. He's got stuff to take care of. And that's fine for him too, because like I said before, and I've defended Greggy on this before too, it's whatever you want to do. You're putting your skills on display for me. I don't give a shit. I'm happy to watch. So I don't mind that he only shows up once or twice. Hell, it could be the last fight on his contract if
Easily.
that does happen.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd be fine with that too. But I'd be happy with Gaethje versus either of these two than with Benoit Saint-Denis or a
Paddy
Paddy
Pimblett.
Pimblett.
It's true, and like that. This is like this is a great matchup for like marketing dollars, for excitement, and for namesake. Like now that we got Gaethje at the top, and he's the hunted at 155 now. Is Gaethje gonna go away anytime soon? Now is my question. He still could. You know, there's still that potential. He's 37 years old. I mean, granted, his past two fights, he's looked phenomenal. He's looked 30, 30, and he's looked 30 in there. You know, his past couple of fights. And Justin Gaethje, here's the thing with Gaethje, guys. A lot of people know him as like this wild fighter, right? Like this guy that just goes in there, fucking lets his balls hang, and fucking just swings for the fences, tries to knock you out. Live by the sword, die by the sword type guy. You know. So the evolution of Justin Gaethje is crazy. He's not a wild man anymore. Yes, he still has wild tendencies where, he can make it a dogfight and he can make it ugly when he needs to. But now we're seeing him incorporate his wrestling more, especially in, like, maybe not in the offensive way, but in the defensive way. We've seen him cartwheel through Michael Chandler's takedown. We saw him stuff Patty's takedown. We saw him stuff Ilya's takedowns, Like, and then on top of that, Gaethje just didn't go in there and throw hooks and uppercuts. He was throwing jabs. He was working that low kick. The evolution of Justin Gaethje these past few years. God damn it, Trevor Whitman, what the fuck are you doing over there at Elevation Fight Academy? Like Trevor Whitman is guys, like, if you guys don't know this, he's my favorite coach in, like, all of mixed martial arts. He is the guy that I hold to, like, the most, like, revered status that I can, because I just think he's such a visionary and he's such a great coach with his fighters, and he never lets his fighters stay stagnant. He always wants them to show us something new. Like, think about Rose Namajunas. Does she fight the same way every time? No, not really. Look at Kamaru Usman. Originally, we see him as, like, the wrestler, right? The guy that'll take you down, control you.
Watch your feet. He gonna stomp them.
Watch those feet. He gonna stomp you. But then he starts working with Trevor Whitman. Now we're adding the boxing. Now we're adding some kicks. Now we're adding some ground and pound, some submissions. Like, we look at Justin Gaethje. Go out there, letting his balls hang, start fucking swinging for the fences. And now what do we see? We see a calculated Gaethje, one that can use all of his skills, one that works that jab, one that works those low kicks, and one that has the power to land. Even Gaethje's clinch work. Look at his clinch work at those last fight. Oh my fucking word. I was so impressed with Justin Gaethje. And I'm like, what is this shit? When he survived that body shot in round 2 and I saw that Ilya was kind of baffled that he didn't go down, I was like, oh, this is anyone's game now. As soon as I saw Gaethje survive that, because it was close round 1.
Oh, yeah.
You could have given that to either guy. That was close round 1, you know? Round 2 was all Ilya, and I thought that the fight was going in Ilya's direction, but when Gaethje survived that, and then landed a few good shots on him, was able to work with him on the ground, was able to stop the offense on the ground in the clinch, you know, and actually was smart with distance. When I saw him doing that against, I mean, yeah, he lost it, but when he absorbed that shot that would have put anybody in the UFC out more than likely. 98% of the roster goes down with that fucking liver shot. That was a fucking bad one, you know? And then Topuria goes back to his corner and he looked appalled. He was like, what? Huh? I landed clean. What do you mean he's still in this? You know? And then when I saw that he was like baffled that he didn't get it, I was like, oh shit. I'm like, that was the turning point for me. I was like, oh fuck. I'm like, this is anybody's fight now. And that's when I started getting a bit louder.
Yeah, it wasn't until round 2 or 3 where I was not, hyperventilating seeing the fucking clinch work. I'm like, anytime they were in the clinches for those first 2 rounds, like, fuck. And then, like, mid-round 3, I'm like, okay, we're still smooth sailing so far still. Yeah. They're fighting.
And, like, they're in a fight. Like, they were in a fight. This wasn't a fucking slaughterfest. Like, we thought it would be. That was the turning point. After Justin Gaethje survived that shit, he was able to hang with him in the way that he did. All of a sudden, I start thinking to myself, granted, I was a bit tipsy, but I was like, oh, fuck. I'm like, this is anyone's game. And I saw, like, Topuria was getting a bit tired. He was like, oh, no. Like, he kind of punched himself out trying to finish Gaethje there.
I think this might be the most exhausted I've seen the guy.
I mean, and then on top of that, round 3, Justin Gaethje came out. Round 4, he landed that fucking nasty cross that wobbled and nearly knocked down Topuria. And when it wobbled him, Gaethje, like, yanked him down and just started fucking whooping him, right? Like, just the same way that he held Paddy Pimblett down. Like, when he just held him in that position. Maybe not going, like, I remember, like, DC screaming, Darce choke, after he knocked him down. Because it looked like Justin Gaethje was legitimately going for a Darce choke. Yeah, I think he might have been. For a second, he's like, wait a minute, I'm fucking Justin Gaethje. I don't fucking submit people, what the fuck? So, he opted to pound his face in. So I was like, I remember DC just screaming, Darce choke, after everybody's trying to recover from the fact that Justin Gaethje just knocked down Ilya Topuria. You know, like, I don't care that he didn't fall right down. He fucking knocked down Ilya Topuria, you know? And when did we ever see that happening? And then he just starts pounding his fucking face in. And then that, like, at the end of the fight, x-rays came out. Ilya Topuria has 2 fractured orbitals and a broken nose. Like, this dude's entire here is gone. Like, it's not good. We're not gonna see Topuria for a little bit. Like, he might need, like, some serious, like, rehabilitation from this shit.
I'm just thinking right now at this moment when you say that. For Ilya, what's his 12th, 13th official fight?
I think this was his 18th professional fight. I forget which one it was in the UFC, but he's 17-1 now.
Okay.
So,
So,
yeah.
and you got people who are double, like fucking Gaethje might be at this point, or triple that if you go to every fucking numbered event, like some people we know who still win. And
Facts.
the fact that the old dog was able to put that beat down on, that his corner had to call it for him, it's an amazing feat.
I don't even know, man. There was something in the fucking air that night. Justin Gaethje just said, you know what? Ah, fuck it. You know? And he just went out there and he just made it dirty. He made it dirty. So if you're just going to do a technical striking match, mixed martial arts fight with Ilia Topuria, he's going to own your ass. He going to get your ass. But Gaethje went in there and said, fuck it. I got to go ahead and beat Justin Gaethje real quick, you know? Like, he remembered that he was Justin Gaethje, you know? And he was like, you know what? I don't give a shit what this dude's record is. I don't give a shit that he's already saying he's 17-0. He's 16-1 now. It wasn't 17-1. Yeah, I don't give a shit that he's already saying he's 17. I don't give a shit about any of this doubting. I'm Justin fucking Gaethje, you know? And he just went out there and just, I don't know, bro. I was so happy when Gaethje won. I really was. That, like, I've said it before. Justin Gaethje is my favorite active fighter since Dustin's no longer around, you know? So that shit was surreal for me. Talking about surreal, Cyril Gahn. This motherfucker Cyril Gahn wins again with a round 2 knockout over Alex Pereira. That was tough. That was rough to watch. Alex Pereira did not look comfortable in there. He looked bad. He looked slow. He looked not that he wasn't prepared. He definitely was prepared, but he went in there and he looked unprepared. You know, and he just did not have a very good performance that night. From the opening bell, I had a bad feeling about Pereira. I watched his walkout. The walkout was cool. You know, all the walkouts are cool. But the walkout was cool, and then he got in there. And then I watched Cyril Gahn go in there, and I'm like, oh, motherfucker. You know? I'm like, God damn it. I don't know, something shifted in me. I didn't say it, or maybe I did. I don't really remember. But I think I might have looked over or said an off comment like, oh, no. You know? Because I had a feeling that Alex Pereira was about to get owned. And he did. Granted, he's trying to fight back and overturn the result of this fight right now. Because he's claiming back of the head shots from Cyril Gahn. And look, I'm not the first guy ever to defend Cyril Gahn with anything. I think this dude's a spoiled brat. I think he gets handed everything. And he's just never delivers usually when the lights are shining on him. He did that night. And granted, I know they're calling back of the head shots and that like they're trying to take it to court, getting overruled. I'm like, dude, even if all those shots to the back of the head, which I rewatched the footage so many times I can't even count, of the back of the headshots. And as much as I love Alex Pereira, as much as I love the people over there to share MMA, I really do love you guys. I don't think many of those were back of the headshot. Maybe one or two of them, maybe, but I don't think they were all back of the headshots. And I don't think there's much ground to stand on here. Looking back at the fight, I mean, maybe I'm just not seeing it. Maybe I need to see another angle. But from the angle that I saw, that was on my TV screen on fight night, obviously, that can vary because cameras are in different spots in the octagon. And maybe if I get another angle, you can see it better. But I haven't seen another angle. And if we're going by the main camera that they used, maybe two were back of the head. And granted, that should be more than enough for a referee to go, oh, stop, timeout, back of the head shot, recover. Now, I'm not trying to say that, like, it's completely excusable. Referee Herb Dean, much as we love you, dude, you should have noticed it and been like, stop, maybe one, two of them should have been to the back of the head, were to the back of the head. I don't think every single one of them were to the back of the head, It's just, and plus, you hit here. If you hit there, well, that's a different issue. Like, if you hit right here, that's a different issue. You hit here, that's still the hard part of the head. That's still the hard part. If you hit him here, well, that's death. That could actually kill you. So it's like I don't know, man. I love Alex Pereira. I love all the people at Sharon May. I really do. But man, I don't know if there's much ground to stand on. If I'm honest, maybe I'm just not seeing the right angle. Maybe they have another one in their possession. But from what I've seen, from what I've observed, I can't see it. I don't know. Can you?
Nope.
Yeah.
As much as I'm not a fan of Cyril Gahn,
Fuck that guy.
Cyril Gahn did win that fight.
Oh my gosh. It's like, oh my god, he actually performed underneath the lights for once. And on top of that, even before the back of the head shots, what was the shot that knocked down Alex Pereira? It was a jab. Pereira got knocked down by a jab. Granted, he got beat up in the first round. That was bad. That was bad. But
I was gonna say, and because I can't give the guy a compliment without it being backhanded, I'm still going to say that it's not a slight against Pereira, because what do I always say when people go up a weight class?
you never know. You're always doubtful.
I'm always worried about them.
Mm-hmm.
Now, theoretically, if we're entertaining this argument, say 2, 3 would be generous on back of the head shots.
Mm-hmm.
Say ref called the first one. That means that frickin' Cyril Gahn has to be more careful with his shots. That opens him up more to frickin' Pereira in that regards, getting the edge and overturning it and actually winning the fight. But from what I did see of the fight, without those being called, Pereira lost that. I mean,
big time. I mean, I gotta call a spade over here, guys. And Pereira did not look good.
No,
in that fight.
I don't trust him in heavyweight at all.
Not his best performance. Like, we called for him to win. I thought he'd be all right. Obviously, I had trouble predicting this fight. I really did. I went back and forth on it a lot. Granted, it's like I thought it was going to be like an obliteration from Taporia, and I thought it would be a close fight for Pereira and Gahn. Gahn went in there and just said, "I'm still here, motherfuckers."
I'm so gone. I've been in this division for years. I'm sorry, bro. You're not up here yet.
So yeah, now good old Cyril Gahn lays claim to a victory over Alex Pereira. He becomes one of only 3 guys that have beaten Alex Pereira in the UFC to this point. That's still a tremendous record. Only 3 guys ever fucking beat Alex Pereira. That's crazy. Israel Adesanya. It was Magomed Ankalaev, and now Cyril Gahn. Nobody else has beaten Alex Pereira because that dude is special.
Yep.
Don't get me wrong. He is special. And he is... And talk about making the most of the little time you've had. This dude made his debut 2021 November. And look what he did now. He just fought the Whitehouse card for the heavyweight championship. Granted it was interim, but still. Tom Aspinall's away.
In a short 5 years, you decimated 2 divisions, became fucking world champion of these divisions, and you were on the biggest stage as of yet on UFC. Nothing against that.
No, of course not. Alex Pereira, you still have a great UFC career to this point. And if he decided to hang it up tomorrow, brother, he could be happy. He could be happy because he made a hell of a career in just the 5 years that he's been here for. And granted, he came in, he was 34 years old. He wasn't young. He was only like 33. He was 33, 34 years old. And not like he came in like 20 years old like Max Holloway did. Or like 26-ish for Israel Adesanya. It's like he came in at like 33, 34, and he did all this stuff. He ended the style bender era.
Yep.
Like, he ended that shit. I was present for it. I was there. I watched it happen. And, like, he ended the style bender era. He has been one of the biggest stars the UFC has seen in quite some time. And him, Sean O'Malley have been really big stars. Sean O'Malley also fought on this card. Obviously not to the same level as, like, Conor McGregor. But I don't know if anybody's ever going to be at the same level as Conor McGregor again.
I would say of recent years.
Like the past 5.
The 3 dominant fighters that I would say would be Islam Makhachev.
Easily.
Ilia Topuria.
Easily.
And then Alex Pereira.
Yeah, dude, all 3 of those guys have just been killing it the past, 3 years or so?
Yep.
Like...
It's in recent years. Yeah, you guys are fucking lit. You guys are on fire. You guys rock. It's just... This wasn't your night, man.
Yeah, and like it's not like we're trying to deny Alex Pereira, but man, he didn't win that fight, and that's fine. But he still has made a lasting impact, and he shouldn't be too ashamed that he lost. You know, because I mean that's tough, man. You're moving up another weight class. That's 3 weight divisions up from where you started. You know, you made it there, and you made the weight. You got there. You showed up. You fought for the title in that division, and just came up short. It's all right. You know, you still have 2 light heavyweight belts. You still got a middleweight belt. You know, that's awesome. You know, that's awesome. There are some people that never even won a belt. You know, like Donald Cerrone, Dustin Poirier, like some of the Cub Swans, and some of these guys that are retired and never won a belt. You know, and it's like, damn. You know, but he won three. You know, two. It's just I don't know, man. Alex Pereira. I hope you come back stronger. I think you're probably gonna move back down to light heavyweight now. Him and Olberg is probably the next fight. You know, well, obviously Olberg needs to recover first, but once Olberg's recovered and whatnot, then I feel like Alex Pereira, Carlos Olberg needs to be the fight to make because Carlos Olberg, Alex Pereira haven't fought yet. But if Alex Pereira decides to hang it up here, which I don't think he will, but if he does, then shouldn't be ashamed, dude.
What I don't want to see is him go through all this work to get this fight overturned.
Yeah.
And for them to run it back with a different ref because he wanted her being barred.
Yep.
And then the same result. I mean,
that would just be the worst.
And I think that's what he's shooting for.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll be better then, but I don't know. I'm no expert in this shit.
No,
I'm just a commenter.
There you go. It's just, you know, it's one of those things, man. But regardless, though, Cyril Gahn is your new two-time interim champion now. Two-time interim heavyweight champion of the world. And Tom Aspinall, update on Tom Aspinall, guys. He's actually going to be competing soon. We could see him as early as the end of this year. Or beginning of next.
Yeah, I would say give him the opener of next year.
Yeah, at the beginning of next year, he should be back, which is excellent. Love to see the champ come back and see how he goes against Cyril Gahn again. I mean, granted, that first fight, before the eye poke, Cyril Gahn was looking pretty good. I can't lie. I got to give credit where credit's due. And
that's if we see Cyril Gahn there. Honestly, at the rate that UFC's going, I know Gahn doesn't like to fight unless it's in France. Or I guess, the Whitehouse card.
Yeah.
I could probably see him doing another match by the end of the year to be a second, defending interim champion.
Which I don't know why you'd want to do that.
I don't know why you would either.
But I think you just hold on to the interim belt,
I could see it happening, though.
This is true. But regardless, what should be coming up next is Tom Aspinall and Cyril Gahn. I believe there's already been talks that fight is being negotiated right now, and it could be as early as the end of this year, if not beginning of next. So Tom Aspinall is set to come back. I'm glad that this injury didn't put him away for good, because he was just getting started. He never really got a chance to start because goddamn John Jones decided to hold up the division for 3 years.
I was going to say, easy way to win against a John fight. You just say John Jones and he'll run out.
Pretty much. But yeah, no. Cyril Gahn, congrats on your win. And good luck against Tom Aspinall again.
A bit of comic relief now. How do we feel about D-Lewis' fight?
Oh, jeez. Oh, Derek Lewis. Josh Hockett. Oh, Josh Hockett. Derek Lewis. That was a shit show. What a terrible fight. What a horrible fight that was. I was excited because, Hockett did have a good fight against Curtis Blades not all that long ago. Derek Lewis, always fun to see. The dude hits like a fucking train. And, takes his pants off when he wins. So, but this fight, if you want to talk about shit show, man. Oh, this fight was bad. It was so bad. Josh Hockett failed at showing us how to do an armbar.
Yep.
He just totally failed at committing to an armbar. Made some comments after he won the fight. Rather disrespectful ones. And Derek Lewis looked like a total turd. He really did not look good.
Hockett is like the Five Below Covington at the moment.
Dude, like, why are you playing the Covington shtick, man? Like, oh, you're not good at it. The reason why he does it, I get it. I get it. You want people to talk about you. And that's exactly what we're doing. But, dude, you're just cringe. You're so fucking cringe. You are so cringe.
This fucking Hulk Hogan persona.
Uh,
And the fucking bandana.
You are so stupid. You are just dumb. I hate your cringe. I just hate this motherfucker. And I will happily say that on this mic right now. I'm not holding back. Josh Hockey, you're annoying. I mean, he'll knock me out. Don't get me wrong. He'll fucking sleep me anyway. I'm only 160 pounds. You know, he's like 260. So he's got me by quite a bit. But, dude, you suck.
Facts, he's still cringe and annoying.
But, dude, you suck. You are cringe. You are annoying. You have the persona of a 13-year-old edgelord on Twitter. And you're not even like comedic about it. You're just stupid. I don't know. I could go on about Josh Hockett. But the fact is, the dude's undefeated and is on a 2-fight winning streak. No, 3-fight winning streak right now. And no, not even 10-fight winning streak. He's 10-0. I could say all the shit I want. This motherfucker's winning. This motherfucker's winning, and I fucking hate it. I hate it so much. This fight was so shit. I don't know, man. What did you think of the Josh Hockett? I thought it was shit. That was awful. What a bad fight. What a disgrace to the Whitehouse lawn. This fucking fight. Jesus H. Christ. I had to use his full name for that one.
I will say at this moment, because I'm no fan of freaking Chris Hockett at all.
Josh. But yes.
Josh Hockett at all. I'm gonna shift the attention away from him because I really don't care. I'm surprised D-Lou didn't lay down the gloves.
Yeah, me too.
Honest.
That would have been a perfect spot for him to do it.
I think that would have been the correct call. Obviously, like I always say, we're not in charge of these fighters. However long they want to go, but I mean...
He's 40 years of age.
Are you gonna have a better shot, a better time than that?
Like, I mean, that was a surging contender. If Derek Lewis beat him in his tracks right there, the title aspirations aren't gone yet. You know? It's just, I don't know. Derek Lewis, he's like 41. The dude's getting old now. He's on a 2-fight skid, I think. Yeah, 2-fight skid. And he's just getting old, you know? And it's like, obviously at the higher weights, you can keep going for longer just because it's not as physically demanding as, say, flyweight is. Because you're not forced to be, like, training hard because you're smaller size, stuff like that. Like, most of the people that fight at, like, 125, they're done by, like, 35, They're done because their body requires so much as the smaller guy to keep going at that high level. They can only do it for so long. Heavyweight, it's a little bit more lax. Light heavyweight, a little bit more lax. Middleweight's that weird area. But welterweight, there's a pretty good average of like 37. Like from welterweight down to like featherweight, I'd say like the average is like 37, 38. Then you're done. But when you get to the low weight classes like flyweight, bantamweight, you don't see many fighters going much past 35, That's just not what they do. It's too demanding at that level. But, I mean, I understand that. But Derek Lewis, man, you had a good moment. That was a big contender, That was a big time stage. And you could have just been like, all right, well, I got to fight on the Whitehouse lawn, I got to fight on the Whitehouse lawn. I had a good career. Still have the most knockouts in UFC history. Not many people are going to come close to beating that record. So, it's like, okay, I'm done. I'll hang it up here. But he didn't, which was strange. I thought he would have. I remember at the end of the fight, I was like, oh, let's watch. Let's see if he does it,
Because there really was no more appropriate time that I thought.
And it's not like, he's not going to get that high up in the ranking again at this point. He's going to get fed to younger guys, Because, like, Josh Hockett was a surging contender. A lot of people talking about him. Just had fight of the year with Curtis Blades, so fight of the year contender with Curtis Blades. And I'm like, all right, like, you're not going to get much higher than that, D-Lou. Like, you got a really good chance to fight Hockett here after he's, like, stop his momentum and tell everybody that you're still here. And you didn't do it, which is fine. It doesn't always go your way. But, like, you could have easily just said, all right, I'm done, guys. I'm going to go eat Popeyes. And then that's it. I don't know. It was weird not to see him retire there. I thought
Let
he
us
would.
know if you guys think he should have retired.
I think it would have been a good move. Maybe the error in my way here. But let's talk about the fight that happened after this one. That was the Sean O'Malley and Ivan Zahabi fight. Oh my goodness, Sean O'Malley looked like $1,000,000.
Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness. I mean, I made a case that he's a bit better than a lot of people are making him out to be. But Sean O'Malley just said, "Hey, this is my night. Here we go. Let's go fight this guy." And he looked tremendous. My goodness. Need I say, probably one of the better Sean O'Malley performances to date, I would say. I mean, granted, Cheeto's still his best performance, and again, Cheeto decided to do his impression of a human punching bag. So, for that fight, and he came up really short. But I gotta say, like, at like performance level, like how he looked in there, how everything was flowing, how his game has evolved. Like everybody just knew him. Like, oh, he just eat you with a couple front kicks and leg kicks and get land one big power punch. That's it. Nah, he showed everything. He showed pacing. He showed strike dynamic. He showed a lot of his skills. You know, and I gotta say that was probably one of the better Sean O'Malley performances to date against Iman Zahabi here. I think I don't know, maybe not a title shot, definitely not a title shot, but I know he called for Piotr Jan, and they do have history. Sean O'Malley unjustly beat Piotr Jan back in 2022. So, I mean, it's not like he doesn't have history with the guy. He does. And that's a narrative thread that could connect him to that. And knowing his Dana White privilege, that could happen. Assuming Piotr Jan doesn't get a fight booked before that, against whomever, which there's like no movement with him right now. We don't really know what's going on. But Sean O'Malley looked good. And way to call out the champ when you had such a good victory. I don't know. I'm not disappointed with that Sean O'Malley performance. I think he did really good. You?
That was a fantastic performance by Sean O'Malley. And as a moderate UFC watcher, I'll call myself, because I don't go into all the history and whatnot from the decades that they've had, like some people. I would say that there's a lot of times where I keep my how's best to say? Like, I keep my eggs to myself. I don't put them in other baskets.
Yeah.
And that was like Patty Pimblett, when you guys were all about fucking Patty Pimblett. That was honestly when you guys were all Sean O'Malley. Everyone's like, Sean O'Malley, he's the next big thing. You gotta love him. He's the next big thing. He's got this on lock. And then he lost his first title defense. But anyways, this is when I would invest my interest into a fighter, because this looked like a fantastic fighter with a glowing career ahead of himself, that knew where he was, knew what he could do, knew what his opponent was gonna do, how to go about fighting, how to keep his distance, where to be at what time, what shots land, at what point. And honestly, this probably made me a fan of Sean O'Malley, this fight.
It was a good one, man. It was an excellent performance from Sean O'Malley. I have no complaints here. But I'm glad you see the vision now. He looked great in there. He really did. Patty Pimblett has been the biggest sham of all time. But, it's like Sean O'Malley, though, he did really good. Plus, coming off his last win, which was like, what the fuck? Like, I think Song Yadong beat him, personally. But obviously he won. I'm going into this fight like, okay, let's see what happens. And he goes in there. He just said, this dude shouldn't even be across from me. I'm kicking his ass. I don't know. What's next for Sean O'Malley now? Maybe another guy in top 5?
I would say definitely a top 5 fight, and then title.
It's another title shot. I agree. I mean, he does have the narrative thread with Piotr Jan, and that very much could boost him into the Piotr Jan fight, but I don't think that's what should happen. But it could happen. You never know.
That's the problem with like stagnation within a division.
Yeah, it's
Makes
weird.
things random.
Plus, Sean O'Malley's a rather active fighter too. He usually fights 2-3 times a year. Piotr Jan's a 1-2 times a year type fighter. He doesn't come around a lot. When he does, he usually doesn't disappoint, but he doesn't
gets
really.
robbed.
He just gets robbed every now, or ragdolled by Marab. But then he went in there against Marab again and said, guess what, motherfucker? I learned my fucking lesson, and now I'm going to kick your ass. And he definitely did that.
Does Marab got anything confirmed?
Marab right now. At least
Let's
not that I've heard.
have him and Sean go at it.
Again?
If we want someone in for the title
Yeah,
fight, like
true.
this is just a number one contention to get to, like, so that they have stock to go after the championship.
Yeah, like Marab's already beaten him twice.
Yep.
I mean, it's like, all right, let's see. I mean,
Now
fuck
it's his time to show that he's there.
Yeah, I know. I get that. So yeah, Sean O'Malley, you did great. Can't wait to see what you do next. You definitely made up for that fucking sham of victory you got earlier this year, and also on the January card. So let's see. Now we're gonna go into this little lovely fight here that was the worst performance of Michael Chandler's fucking career. Like, look, guys, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that Michael Chandler's gonna be winning many fights at this point in his career. You know, he has not delivered much at all since the whole McGregor blow up. And but the thing with Chandler, even though he would go on to lose against Charles Oliveira again, against Paddy Pimblett, all that stuff, he at least managed to have some moments where it looked like he could do it. He almost finished Charles in the fifth. Don't forget about that. He almost got Paddy Pimblett in the first. Let's not forget about that. But then he ultimately crumbles because he's trying to go in there, balls to the wall, and get it done. Because he fights for entertainment's sake, not so much to win.
It's a bit too showboaty, not enough backing it up.
Yeah. Like, he's a showman. I'd love to see him in WWE. I think he'd be great. But, Mauricio Rufy goes in there. I already had hella doubts for Michael Chandler going into this fight because I'm like, Mauricio Rufy is holy fuck levels of competition right now. Fighting Nerds, man, you guys have such a fucking good camp. You really do. You've produced so many good fighters that we're watching in this new gen. So it's like, holy shit. So I already had hella doubt for Michael Chandler. I'm like, hey, maybe Michael Chandler will have his one moment, his round one, where he does okay. First half of round one. We didn't even get that. Dog, he went in there and looked like shit. He looked like shit. I was like, oh my god, what happened, Michael Chandler? Like, I thought you'd at least try something. He just did not look good, man. This was by far one of the... Maybe I'm being too harsh on the guy, but this was one of the worst performances I've ever seen come out of Michael Chandler.
I don't think you're being too harsh on the guy. Honestly, I feel with Chandler nowadays, he's stagnant to the point where he's predictable, but he's confident in his skills.
Yeah.
Overly confident, so, which is what always catches him off from, like, the win. It's like, if you're not improving, someone else is, and they're doing that to beat you.
Yeah, and plus this dude's 40 years of age, kid. Like, dude, he is at the end. Like, there's not much left in this rope here for Michael Chandler.
We'll get him on a Cheerios box. He'll be the new spokesman.
It's like, dude, what happened? Like, this is the same guy 5 years ago, going in there nearly winning the UFC lightweight title. Then he had a really good fight with Dustin Poirier. He had a really good performance against Tony Ferguson. Basically killed El Kukui. He killed El Kukui that night. And then just failed to follow up on his momentum after the loss to Dustin Poirier. And then he calls out, he wants Conor McGregor. He gets Conor McGregor. And then we wait. We do a whole season of The Ultimate Fighter. And then we have to wait again. The coaches for the next season fought before they even confirmed their fight. And then it was like, then they confirmed the fight. Okay, finally, Chandler's going to fight McGregor. We're going to end the Ultimate Fighter season. And McGregor pulled out. And Michael Chandler stopped waiting. Thank God. Thank God he stopped waiting. Because if he kept waiting, he wasted like the tail end of his prime waiting for Conor McGregor. 3 years. Nearly. No, 2 years. He fucking wasted of it, like the end of his career, where you could be getting some good performances in here, a couple good victories. He wasted it waiting on Conor McGregor, and that's like forever. What, unfortunately, I think Chandler's legacy is going to be defined by. Chandler's legacy to the public is going to be defined by he almost fought Conor McGregor.
I'm hoping that the public eye won't be on his UFC career, if I'm honest.
Yeah, honestly, look at his Bellator career.
Like,
that was great.
His Bellator career, yes.
That was excellent.
That's who we wanted. It's not who we got. We're sorry, but that's the reality of the situation.
Yeah, it's just like his Bellator career was great. Don't get me wrong, he was a killer Bellator champion. Defended it a few times. Had a good little rivalry with Patricio Pitbull. It was a good time. When it was Bellator, Michael Chandler. I remember he was a big sign back in 2020 when he signed. When I started following the sport a little bit, I'm like, oh, Michael Chandler. Who's this Michael Chandler guy? I looked at his Bellator all the time. Holy shit! Yeah, I got this guy. And then he goes in, he fights Dan Hooker, who just went tooth and nail with Dustin Poirier. So I was already like, all right, let's see. That Dan Hooker's a tough guy, and he fucking knocked him out in round 1, his UFC debut on the Poirier McGregor 2 card. I was like, oh my god, what? Okay, good job UFC, you got a good guy. And then they put him in a title fight against Charles Oliveira. He nearly won the title against Charles Oliveira, then lost the second round because Charles Oliveira, that was just his night, back in 2021. And then at the end of 2021, the end of his rookie year in UFC, he faced Justin Gaethje in a fight that I still go back to this day and watch. Just if I want to watch a fight and I don't know what fight I'm going to watch, I'm going to watch Chandler and Gaethje. That was a good fight. And then he comes back, beginning of 22, he fucking front kicks Tony Ferguson to the stratosphere. All right, Michael Chandler's back. Then he goes and fights Dustin Poirier. They have a great fight with Dustin Poirier. He gets submitted by Dustin Poirier. It's there for that. And then Conor McGregor. You ruined Chandler. You never even fought him. You ended his whole career and you never fought him.
He's quite good at ruining people.
He really is. So that was by far, I think, the worst I've ever seen Michael Chandler look in the UFC. Which is awful. Because, like, this guy at one point was, like, the guy. They're like, oh, this guy's going to be dangerous. He was top 5. He was looking dangerous. He was looking competitive. Everybody's like, oh, let's see. And he just never was the same after the Conor McGregor shit, after the Dustin Poirier loss. Like, I would say more the Conor McGregor shit than anything else. Because when he came back after Conor McGregor, he fights Charles Oliveira, who was on, like, a fucking mission at the time to get back to the lightweight strap. He did and got knocked out.
Terminator disguised as
Charles Oliveira.
Charles Oliveira, actually.
But damn, dude, Michael Chandler looked like garbage in that fight, and I hate to say it. But Michael Chandler, I don't know what's going on with you. What do you think is next for Michael Chandler?
Chandler's a tough one to call, honestly.
Honestly, he's in a point in his career where I'm like, who do you fight now? Bobby Green? Like,
I would say before he's fucking up there in age too.
He's 40.
Before any upward movement for the guy, I want to see him decisively win 2 fights where he's fighting down.
Which I don't even know if he's gonna stick around for 2 fights. So it's
that's
like
the problem.
It's so hard to call Michael Chandler's fight career right now. It really is. And I'm like, this poor guy. He had so much going for him. He really did. Coming in the UFC, he had quite the train behind him, and he was backing it up for a little bit. For like the first 2 years he was in the UFC, first year in competition, 2 year sign, he was living up to the hype. He really was. And then just fell apart. The wheels came off the bus. And then that was that. Anyway, we move on to Bo Nickel, who looked tremendous as well against Kyle Dawkins. Then again, Kyle Dawkins had already been released by the UFC before. I honestly think this was a feeding to make Bo Nickel look good again. But
makes sense.
It worked. Bo Nickel did look good. This was the head kick that got the front kick that got him, right?
Yeah.
I was in the bathroom when it happened, of course, but the front kick got him, and I don't know, Bo Nickel looked pretty good. I mean, Kyle Dawkins, there's not much room to stand on there. He's not necessarily the highest level fighter in the world.
Beat a guy, Bo Nickel.
Yep, but Bo Nickel beat a guy, and that's pretty much how that.
Decisively. Yeah.
Very decisively.
Very quickly.
Round 1, 4 minutes and 34 seconds in. Yeah, definitely.
These are the embers that spark the hype train.
This is just the tinder. So the tinder get the fire going. So not much to talk about Bo Nickel there. Just back on the train again, back on the saddle. Maybe a top 10 for him in the future, top 5. He's got the namesake for it.
He definitely got the namesake. I'd say give him 5 to 7 before actually breaking in.
to the ranking. And then we had Diego Lopez, who struggled in the first round of his fight. I was telling you guys, Steve Garcia is good. You know, I was telling you guys that on here, Anthony was too. Like, Steve Garcia is good. The dude is a really good fighter. And everybody's like, "Oh, Diego's got this. He's gonna bounce back." I'm like, I'm with you. I think Diego's gonna win, but Steve Garcia is really good. You know, like don't count that man out. He's good. You know, and he proved it. He nearly finished Diego Lopez in round 1. Nearly finished him. And then obviously Diego Lopez did Diego Lopez things, absorbed a bunch of punches, and found a way to finish him at the end.
Yes, sir.
But, you know, that's why we love Diego Lopez around here.
That's what he does.
Because that's just what this motherfucker does. And then on top of that, this dude makes weight twice. He makes weight for his fight at featherweight, right? 145. He weighs in again, 155, to be the backup fighter in case Gaethje or Topuria fell ill the day of the fight. I'm like, this motherfucker is so good. He is so reliable. I'm like, this guy is awesome. He's got a long career ahead of him. He really does. I'm excited to see it.
I did not hear that. How the hell do you make weight twice?
He made it twice.
How?
Dude said, I'm going to weigh in for my fight, and I'm going to weigh in as the backup fighter for the big fight.
Like, I'm going to go weigh in for my fight. I'm going to go hit this buffet. I'll be right back.
I'm going to go hit this buffet real quick.
I'll be right back.
Drink a bunch of Coke and get those 10 pounds on me. And then I'll hop back on the scale 155 and be the backup. Just in case Gaethje or Topuria can't make the walk, you know. Dude. I fucking love Diego Lopez. I fucking love this dude. He's so awesome. I'm always going to root for this guy, unless it's Volk. But you know, then I'm like, dude, I can't root against my boy. But damn, dude, Diego Lopez, he was in trouble that first round. Steve Garcia was showing us.
He's scary. Garcia is scary.
Garcia was showing us that, hey, I'm not some nobody that you should be brushing off. No, I ain't that. I
earned my spot here. I am not being fed.
Exactly.
Let me show you something.
And he nearly finished him. Like, keep your eye on Steve Garcia, guys. But Diego Lopez, big win. I'm always happy when Diego Lopez wins. Can't get a bounce back. So, this guy's, oh man, he's so tough. He's so cool. You know, and he's so reliable. He just has no quit in him. And I love that with any fighter. He's got no quit. He doesn't compromise. He just says, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to go do my job, and get it done. And I fucking love it. I love you. I love you, Diego Lopez.
I say this a lot, and I feel it's true with most people and things. Because what this all amounts to is hard work. It's putting in that dedication and whatnot. And I find that the saying rings true and true. It's like, it's not tough to put in that hard work. Not at all. It's just a lot easier to make excuses. And that's what some people do. Honestly, I feel like Chandler's kind of on that end. Unfortunately, did he have it? Fuck yeah. Does he still have it? Is he improving?
No. He fights the same way every time. He's not improving. He's not evolving.
And they'll say, oh, it was because of this. Oh, it was because of this. Just a bit more hard work, man.
Just fucking get it done, dude. You know? Just go ahead and get it done. And fucking Diego Lopez, though. Definition of a workhorse. Fucking love this kid. Anyway, UFC Whitehouse, besides the couple of kind of throwy fights where we kind of knew who was going to win, you know, we kind of knew Hackett was going to beat Lewis, kind of knew O'Malley had as a hobby, kind of knew Rufy was going to get Chandler again. Those last two fights, though, made this card a lot, you know.
I'd say we had like a 70 to 80% accuracy, really.
Yeah, we did pretty good on that one. The only thing we didn't fucking get right was the main two. Funny, but you know, the two actually competitive fights. Because the other ones, I mean, as fun as it is to see all these finishes, we kind of already knew that that's how that fight was going to go. This card was pretty predictable already, but it wasn't. It was meant for, you know, the showcase. That's what it was for. It was for the show. That's what it was. Now, do I think that's a bit lazy? Sure. But it is what it is. That's what it was there for, and it served its purpose, you know. But the two actual competitive fights were Ilia Topuria and Alex Pereira and Cyril Gane. Those were the fights, you know, and they delivered. Both of them did.
What do you rate this card?
I mean, to be honest, the finishes were fun and all, And it's fun to see like my predictions come true, but really what held most of the weight for this card for me were the last two fights. So even though it was fun watching the other guys win, I can't go much past a B for this card. I can't go much past a B. I almost said B minus, but I'm like, nah, I'll give it a B. You know?
Honestly, I would say I would love to say that this was an 8. I will have to knock it down to 7.5 exclusively because I didn't get my fucking prelims.
Yeah, we didn't get no prelims. It was just main. It was just main card, long main card.
Main card, and it was most ads.
Yeah, it was a lot of ads because we had a lot of finishes.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I can't get this much more than a B. I mean, it was fun watching Gaethje win. It was fun seeing O'Malley win and all that stuff. We kind of knew already. This is a rather predictable card, but no matter. It did what it had to do. It was meant to be a showcase, and that it was. And it was a good night. I mean, Justin Gaethje did the impossible. That's really what gave most of this ranking. The most of that B was because Justin Gaethje did what Justin Gaethje does, and makes me care about fights. So I mean, you'll see me pretty locked in when Gaethje's fighting. You really do, no matter no matter who it is. But yeah, that was the Whitehouse card. Now I gotta say, we've got a couple of gotta do some like quick hit stuff for the McGregor card because next
I was
week's
gonna say, you just mentioned McGregor card. We got the biggest of news because Greggy is apparently back.
apparently.
Apparently, we've been told by sources who say they're UFC that Greggy will be fighting.
Exactly, but of course we're not gonna believe it happens. Supposedly, McGregor is set to fight Max Holloway main event, International Fight Week, July 11th, Saturday.
Apparently, this is going on.
Apparently. We're going to run down this card, starting with our main event all the way down to the first early prelims. And to be honest, we'll probably only give predictions for 2 prelims and then the main card. Because the early prelims are kind of, I mean, they're good.
At least we'll have them.
But we're going to have them. So we're just going to top to bottom real quick, and we're just going to try to quick hit this as best we can. We're already an hour and a half in. So,
I work tomorrow. I'm going to drink those banquets you got me for my birthday. 32 now.
He's 32!
Yeah.
Y'all say happy birthday to Anthony in the comments. Do it right now. Do it right now. I got him the gift of alcohol.
Yes, I'm going to be drinking a shit ton of banquets once I get home.
Yay!
I don't drive drunk.
As he slams another beer. Well, shall we get more beer before we go down this card?
I would say that's in order.
I would say that's in order.
All
right. Just gonna grab I think I only have Gansets in there. So
all right.
Just grab a couple of Gansets. Fridge is a bit empty. Could use a reload. Of course. But guys, Conor McGregor is supposed to fight. And I have so many mixed feelings about Conor McGregor. I respect the holy hell out of McGregor the fighter. You know, the McGregor the fighter that, like, propelled the UFC to global stage. But I have extreme complications with Conor McGregor the person and the reliability of Conor McGregor, because I really can't rely on the dude anymore. There used to be a time when you could totally count on Conor McGregor making it. He always made it. Now I just don't know.
Who's the best fighter?
Who's the best fighter on the planet?
And at what time and date?
Oh, the best fighter in the world at any point in time was Conor McGregor, November 15th, 2016. That was the best fighter in the fucking world. Okay? The McGregor that fought Eddie Alvarez in November of 2016 is the best fighter you will ever see. 100%. Granted, everybody talks about the Jose Aldo knockout. Yes, the Jose Aldo knockout was great. 13 seconds. Fastest finish in the title fight. Still hasn't been beaten yet. But the best fighter on the goddamn planet was Conor McGregor. Actually, I think I'm getting the date wrong, but it was Conor McGregor in November of 2016 when he fought Eddie Alvarez. Nobody can convince me otherwise. That was the pound for pound best fighter on the fucking planet. So, like, easily. So, main event of the evening: Conor McGregor, Max Holloway. This is a rematch Going all the way back to 2013. More on that when we get there.
1 second, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Can we take that in for a second?
What's up?
We got Conor McGregor and Max Holloway fighting in 2026.
Which is insane. We got Conor McGregor.
Y'all taking this in?
Yeah, this is nuts. Guys, we got McGregor, Holloway in a rematch before
Supposedly.
GTA 6.
Supposedly.
We're gonna have McGregor and Max Holloway in a rematch before GTA 6. So,
that's you taking that in.
This is nuts. We have a spectacle on our hands here. Two of the biggest stars in the UFC currently. And the biggest star that the UFC's ever seen here, Conor McGregor. Max Holloway, one of the biggest stars currently, and has been solidly just reliable. Always putting on good performances every time. Couple losses to Volk and Topuria, but you can lose to Volk and Topuria and be okay. You know, that, and Charles Oliveira. You can lose to those guys and be alright, you know. But that is our fight in the main event. It's crazy. Our co-main event, Benoit Saint-Denis, Paddy Pimblett. We're getting England versus France yet again, 300 years later. So, we also have Corey Sandhagen back at it against Mario Batista, the most hated man in the UFC for some goddamn reason. We have Brandon Royval and Loner Kavanaugh. We also have King Green and Terrence McKinney. We have Nikita Krylov, scary, and Robert Whittaker in the prelims. The prelims. Robert Whittaker's on a fucking prelim. Anyway, we also have Gable Steveson and Elijah Ellison. We have Cody Garbrandt and Adrian Yanez. Adrian Yanez has been around since God fucking forever ago. Cody Garbrandt has been around since God fucking forever ago. So, battle the old guys at 135. We also have Luke Riley and Kai Kamaka. Luke Riley is a Dana White Contender Series guy. We have Tracy Cortez back on against Wayne Kong. We have Damian Pinas. Yes, quite the name. Versus Cesar Almeida. We have Farid Basharat, the younger Basharat brother, against Ethan Ewing, who actually put a stop to a huge hype train in Malcolm Wellmaker. If you remember that last year-ish. Malcolm Wellmaker had a ton of effort behind him, and Ethan Ewing just went in there and said, nah. Nah. My victory here. And we also have Ryan Gandra and Zachary Reese. I can't tell you much about either guy. We also have O'Day Osborne and Cody Durden. Cody Durden has been around since God fucking forever ago. And O'Day Osborne has been around since God fucking forever ago. So, got a couple veterans on here, a couple newer fighters.
Where's this?
This is Vegas. Vegas, baby. It's International Fight League. It's gotta be. But, starting with, I think you already know the prelims that we're going over. We're going to be going over the Garbrandt and Yanez one. And we're going to be going over Nikita Krylov and Robert Whittaker. Let's start it off with Cody No Love Garbrandt. First off, before we even get in that shit, how do you think about him? What do you think about good old Cody Garbrandt?
Honestly, I like the effort he puts in.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm not going to be bored when I'm watching him.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that about my fighters.
There's no odds for this fight yet, guys.
So, yeah, I'll look forward to this.
I love Cody Garbrandt. One of the better fighters to date was the Dominic Cruz and Cody Garbrandt. That Cody Garbrandt that fought Dominic Cruz was insane. If you guys have not watched that fight, please go back and watch it. That was one hell of a performance from Cody Garbrandt. And that gave him a fucking face on a Wheaties box performance. That's how good that performance he had against Dominic Cruz was. He got on the fucking Wheaties box. Anyway, so Adrian Yanez here. Last fight was a draw. 17-6. And Cody Garbrandt, his last fight was a win. Cody Garbrandt, I think, is on a small winning streak right now, if I'm remembering correctly. Oh no, he's not. My fault. He's just on a one fight winning streak right now. March 7th, 2026, he did beat his opponent Long there. I don't know the dude's first name. His last name's Long though. Cody Garbrandt, obviously former champion. He's an interesting guy to watch. I don't mind watching his fights. I actually do like. I make fun of him a lot, call him Cody Glassjaw, because he got knocked the fuck out by Kai Kara France at flyweight. But then again, you can get knocked out by Kai Kara France at flyweight and be okay. It's fucking Kai Kara France.
I was gonna say, I feel like it's very hard to stop Kai Kara France from doing things.
Unless your name's Alessandro Pantoja.
Kind of does things as he pleases.
Yeah. But anyway, looking at that fight, I mean, both guys are strikers. So I don't think this fight's primarily gonna hit the ground at any point. Both guys have similar, significant strike accuracy at 42%. A little bit more volume from Adrian Yanez, but Garbrandt's got power. That's the issue. Both guys not really big takedown nor submission threats. And there are no odds for this fight currently. It's a bit close. So that being said, I mean, it's a battle of two guys that we know and love in the UFC because they've been around for so goddamn long. So I mean, you gotta give credit where credit's due. But I'm gonna be in the corner of Cody Garbrandt for this one. I think he's got this. I think he'll find the shot, and he'll probably put Yanez out. What you got, Ant?
I got Garbrandt for this too. I just have more stock in him, and I have more dependable. I have more eggs in his basket
Than you do in Yanez, which
Yeah.
makes sense. Since there's no odds to that fight currently, I can't really tell you it. But the next fight on the list, the odds are huge. We're not going to really go over it. But Gable Stevenson and Elisha Ellison. Gable Stevenson sits as a minus 2,000 favorite. So, more on that story as it develops. That's
that guy.
He's that guy. I don't really know too much about Gable, if I'm honest with you. I've heard the name. I know his existence. But this dude's only 25 years of age. And he's really got no data on him besides what he did in the regional scene, and that's hard to find. So, assuming he just really impressed Dana White, probably, and that's why they signed him. So, we're going to see where that goes. Like, even on the website, they don't even have a picture for the guy. He doesn't even have a picture yet. He's vacant.
We will get back to you guys after the fight.
So, yeah, we're definitely going to be updating the TikTok with Gable Stevenson because I've heard the name. I know what he did. I know what he is. I know who he is. He's a grappler, I'm pretty sure, like a really good grappler. And he's just, I don't know, he's a fucking enigma right now. I'm like, I don't really know too much about this guy, but I hear he's a really good grappler. And judging by the minus 2,000 favorite, Dana White probably's got a lot of stock in this kid.
So
So,
put $5 on the other guy just in case.
big time. You make a quick $1,000 off your $5, and you'll double that shit. So crazy, but that we're just gonna touch on that because I saw the absurdity in those odds there. So I was like, what the fuck, you know? Then we also have good old Robert Whitaker and Nikita Krylov. I mean, Nikita Krylov is dangerous as shit. Robert Whitaker is dangerous as shit. This is a light heavyweight bout. Robert Whitaker moved up.
Well, the Reaper had to do something new, I'm guessing.
I mean, after his last performance against Rainer de Ritter, where he should have fucking won that fight. I don't give a shit what any else say. I love Rainer de Ritter. Don't get me wrong. I think he's a great guy, but that motherfucker didn't win that fight. That motherfucker did not win that fight. And Robert Whitaker got totally robbed. And then before that, he got his teeth ripped out by Hamzat Chimaev.
Yeah, that doesn't leave a good impression.
But before that, he knocked the fuck out of Ikram Aliskerov, who was looking unstoppable at the time. So, Bobby Knuckles, still very much here. Former middleweight champion, guys. You don't need me to tell you that. You guys know this by now. We know Robert Whitaker for his balanced fighting style. We know him for his legacy at the highest level. And, I mean, the only guy that he couldn't beat at middleweight, really, was Israel Adesanya for the longest time until Rainer de Ritter came along and beat him somehow. But, that, obviously, we know Robert Whitaker for everything that he's done at middleweight. He's such a great guy. Such a good dude. He just had another kid recently, I'm pretty sure. So, congrats to him. So, we're at light heavyweight, though. He's number 10 ranked at light heavyweight. I wonder why he got a rank at light heavyweight.
Damn.
That's
Fuck
strange.
you, number 11 through 15.
Like, goddamn.
Unless you already beat them and then they moved up.
Maybe. I mean, Nikita Krylov is number 12. So, I mean, that wasn't a light heavyweight bout that he had with Reiner Ritter. That was middleweight, wasn't it? It had to have been. Yeah, it was. Like, what the fuck? And his fight with Hamzat was also middleweight. Yeah, what the?
Is Whitaker stepping in on short notice, maybe?
I don't think so. I remember this fight getting announced. Or maybe he is. I don't fucking know. But hey, Robert Whitaker's here.
Whitaker's back.
Whitaker's back. We love Whitaker. But Krylov, that guy's kind of scary. He's really scary, actually. He I think he's the younger guy too. Granted, he's lost a couple of fights recently. He won his last one back in January. But man, I don't know. I mean, Nikita Krylov's scary. I never count the guy out. He's 31-11. That's iffy. But this dude is like so crazy with it. You can never really predict him. Then we also have Robert Whitaker, who's 27-9. Whitaker coming off the loss. Krylov coming off a win. Robert Whitaker moving up in weight though. That's a bit questionable. Because you never know how that's gonna go. But I don't know. It's not that Robert Whitaker looked bad in his last fight. He did look good. He just came up short because of the judges. I think I'm gonna go with Whitaker. I mean, moving up a weight class is always iffy. But I think Whitaker might be able to do something here. I don't know what's next for him if he gets the win, but it'd be cool if he did. I don't know, man. What you got?
It is literally only because he moved up a weight class that I'm gonna say Krylov for this.
Yeah, makes sense.
It's just, you know how I feel about that. Always, when it comes to that.
Always is. Big time.
So I'm gonna be hoping for Whitaker because I love the man. He's great. He's a fucking great fighter. I love what he's done for the sport. So is Krylov, honestly. He's a fantastic fighter, honestly. Always looking forward to his fights too.
So it should be a good one.
Yeah.
Interesting to see how that goes. But Robert Whitaker on a prelim is wild. But he's in the ideal spot for being a prelim guy. The fact that they didn't swap these two, like, you couldn't put Whitaker and Krylov as the first main card fight, and you couldn't put Bobby Green and Terrence McKinney as the featured prelim. Like, I think that's a better featured prelim. But we got Bobby Green and Terrence McKinney. No odds for this fight currently. Not a lot of odds at all for any of these fights besides the top 3. So I mean, we know Bobby Green, right? We know Bobby Green.
He's a guy we love to hate.
He's a guy we love to hate. He's a guy we love to hate and hate to love. So he's such a cocky bastard, man. I get it. Like, I know why you're doing it, but damn, you annoy me. You know, it's just like Hockett.
I was gonna say, he still annoys me less than Hockett, though.
Yeah, that's true. He is less annoying than Hockett. Come down to a King Green and Josh Hockett fought, I'd be rooting for King Green. But, man, Terrence McKinney, though, he's got the second fastest knockout in UFC history at 7 seconds. So, I mean, I don't think anybody's touching Jorge Masvidal's 5-second one. Unless you just come out the gate and just fucking knock a motherfucker out, you know? But I think Jorge Masvidal's going to forever hold that record. No way. Anybody's going to be a sub 5-second knockout, you know? Unless it's like perfect circumstances. So, but I mean, McKinney came close. He was only 2 seconds off the mark. So, I mean, McKinney's good, but he's always fun to watch, and I do like Terrence McKinney, but he's not always the guy that I can reliably say wins. He's always up and down. He either will have a great performance and look like $1 million, or he'll have a really bad performance and be like, oh, Jesus. He's like Kevin Holland, but at lightweight, you know? Like, we love seeing Kevin Holland. We love seeing him fight. We see moments where he's glorious. We also see moments where we're like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? You know? And then, it's the same with Terrence McKinney. Bobby Green, most of the time we say, what the fuck are you doing, dude? But he also has moments where he can just knock you the fuck out because he's just that guy. You know, both guys are coming off of wins in their last fight. Bobby Green, he beat Jeremy Stevens at UFC 328 not all that long ago, which is nuts. That was one pay-per-view ago. So Bobby Green stepping in on short notice for this one, 329. So that's cool. And then we have Terrence McKinney here, whose last win came against Gunnar Nelson. And yeah, that came back in March of this year. This being said, Terrence McKinney is the younger fighter here, and he's the longer fighter. I think he'll be able to use his range a little bit more and come out with a victory over Bobby Green. Don't know how, but I think he wins. What do you think, Ant?
As much as I hate giving props to him, I'm gonna go with King Green for this.
Yeah, I see why, but tell me why. Tell me why.
Well, the short notice does work against him, in my opinion. You know how I feel about short notice. But I feel like, as a fighter, I like his record more than McKinney. Because, as you said before, we see him go up and down. With King Green, it's always like, oh, he's going to do this because, oh, he's going to lose this because, oh, he's going to lose this because, oh. And it's just like, he's very consistently the upstart
Surprising.
to our predictions.
Yeah, consistently surprises us. That's a good way of putting it, Ant. Because we're like, oh yeah, he's gonna win this shit. Oh, nope, he didn't win that. Oh yeah, he's gonna lose this shit. Oh, okay, he won that shit. Alrighty then. But nah, I see the reasoning. He's consistently surprising, while Terrence McKinney is consistently inconsistent. I get you there. I understand. I see the vision. Anyway, this next fight I'm actually kind of excited for. Loner Kavanaugh, I've had my eye on since he was on Dana White's Contender Series about 2 seasons ago. He came in with some of the best performances, one of the craziest knockouts I've ever seen on that promotion. And obviously, you guys know how much I love Brandon Royval. This guy is up there on some of my favorite fighters currently. He's like, I really, really like Brandon Royval. And I think you guys have noticed that as time has elapsed with this podcast. Whenever I talk about Brandon Royval, I always come back to the same thing. This dude is good. He's just a good fighter. He is championship level, but he just misses margins by the slightest bit sometimes, you know? He goes at 8, but regardless if he wins or loses, usually his fights are always spectacular. And he's got a wide range of skill, too. Don't think he's just a boxer. Nah, this guy can fight, you know? Like, this guy, he's a well-rounded mixed martial artist. So is Loner. Loner's a bit younger, a couple of years younger. I think, like, 3 or 4 years younger than, Brendan Royval here. Royval's got the experience. Loner's got the potential. And, Loner here started wrestling when he was little, but then developed a fucking shit ton of striking power as he got into his teen years. So both guys are pretty well rounded. Both guys are definitely approaching, if not in the prime, of their game. And it should be a very close, competitive fight, and the odds are reflecting that. As it stands right now, Brendan Royval is the plus 160 underdog to the minus 190 in Loner Kavanaugh. And it's a close fight. Both guys are very similar. Both guys are very respected, at least in my eyes, because I love Loner. He's coming off a win. Royval is coming off a tough loss to Manel Kape back in December of last year. But prior to that, he had fight of the year on my end against our current flyweight champion Josh Van, and absolutely decimated Tatsuro Taira at one point, who just fought for the belt recently. So Brendan Royval, never count this dude out, and never count Loner out. Loner is coming in after a huge win against Brandon Moreno back in February.
Oh, the other Brandon.
Before that, he beat Charles Johnson, and before that, he beat. I'm not even gonna attempt to pronounce that last name. My bad. So both guys are desperately in need of a victory at this current moment. Loner to keep the momentum, Brendan to remind people that they're still here. I love these fights. I love this kind of fight where both guys have a reason to win for for those two reasons. Either keep my momentum or keep my namesake. So I love these kinds of fights. I love when it's high stakes. This is the type of mixed martial arts I fucking love, especially when it's two flyweights that are well rounded. I'm like, this is my shit right here, dude. I fucking love these fights, and I am not in disagreement with those fighting odds at all. But I think your money's safe with the underdog, Brendan Roybal. Uh-oh.
I'm right there with you too because I will never count out Royval ever, like at all. That guy always impresses me.
It's a dog.
Yeah, as much as you're smiling golf balls over there. But yeah, no, I still got my eggs with Royval's basket.
That's what I'm saying. Like, this dude, like, you can never count Brendan Roybal out. I'm not trying to say I'm discounting Loner either. I'm excited to watch this fight. It's the number 4 ranked guy against the number 6 ranked guy. Like, this is high stakes as it gets. Like, this could be title contention type fight.
Oh, yeah.
Assuming, I think Josh Van just got his next title shot announced right now. I'd have to go back and look. But, this could very much be like, who fights for the belt next? Obviously, we're still waiting on Pantoja to come back. I think once Pantoja's back, he almost has to. Josh Van owes him the rematch because Pantoja ran that division for 2 years, man. 2.5, almost 3 years. If he had beaten Van in that fight, it would have been 3 years. So, Brendan Royval, I got you for this, brother. Go ahead and go in there, do your thing. And Loner, prove me wrong. Honestly, prove me wrong. I am very excited for this fight. This could end up being my fight of the night, but we're not gonna say that just yet. Next up though, we have Corey Sandhagen, who's another one of my guys that I really like. And Mario Batista, who's the most hated UFC fighter for some goddamn reason. I'm like, what the hell did Mario Batista do to you guys? Why do y'all boo him every time? It's not like he's a big shit talker. Maybe is it because his fights are considered boring? Like, is it that? Are you winning the fight? I don't think so. So, if he's winning it and you're bored, he's doing his job. He is coming off a big win against Vinicius Oliveira, and prior to that, he took a loss to Umar, but that's fine. He can take a loss to Umar. And then prior to the Umar fight, Mario fought Patchy Mix, who was making his UFC debut from PFL, I believe. And he beat his ass. Said, "Welcome to the UFC, motherfucker." And that was that. And then Corey Sandhagen, I think he's also coming off of a loss. Yes, he's coming off of a loss at UFC 320 to Merab Dvalishvili. He has not been back since October of last year. So haven't seen these guys in a. We saw Batista recently. Haven't seen Sandhagen in a while. What do you think about both these fighters, Sam?
I like both these fighters. I like them a lot. What they do for their martial arts of choice, or what they do in fighting, is what fighting's for.
Yeah.
Like, they are honest to God, down to earth MMA guys, You can always expect for both of them to display their skills that they have to the extreme,
They're mixed martial artists, man.
I'm never going to put any dirt on either of their names for this. And I think that most of the people that don't like Batista are just because they don't like his fighting style,
Yeah.
Which is unjust. If you're watching MMA and then you get mad when they M the MA, you're kind of in the wrong there, but
just a little bit. Like, go watch some kickboxing, go watch some boxing.
Everyone's entitled to their opinion, so.
Of course. But yeah, both of these guys, they are just true mixed martial artists. Both guys can strike. Both guys can grapple. These guys are just very reliable and very low drama guys. They just go in there, they show up, they do their job, and they get the fuck out. This is the number 4 bantamweight in the world against the number 7 bantamweight in the world. I think because these guys are both like very good, like reliable fighters, the odds are very respectful to both of their skills. I mean, Corey Sandhagen is the minus 145 favorite to the plus 120 underdog in Mario Batista. This fight, theoretically, could go either way.
Yep.
But it's just who can implement the game plan first and who can keep it going. Who can keep the momentum going. I think both guys are in for a good performance here. And but I'll be taking Sandhagen to get this one done.
I'm right there with you with Sandhagen for this.
And like I say this every time Sandhagen's fighting. Every single time this motherfucker fights, he shows me something new. Every time he shows me something new with his game. It doesn't matter what it is, who he's fighting. Every single time he fights, whether he wins or loses, he shows you a new part of his game that he's surprisingly good at. Like
I would say that this is the reason why I'm because I like both these guys. They're both solid workhorses. The reason why I'm giving this more to Sandhagen is because you mentioned it at the start when you introduced this fight. You kind of can count on and know what Batista's coming for, like what Mario Batista's going to do.
Yeah.
And with Sandhagen, there's always
It's a
that
surprise.
thing you're not sure he's going to do that he does.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what's going to
Unpredictability. Because you have an idea of how Batista fights, man. You really do. You have an idea of how Mario Batista's going to fight. He fights relatively the same every time, but it works usually. But Sandhagen's always the guy that's doing something different. He's doing something new, and that just tells me that he's got a couple tricks up his sleeve. And I also just love Corey Sandhagen. He's such a cool dude. He's a great guy. If given the chance to ever talk with him, I totally would. I think that would just be vibes. Honestly, he'd be so chill. But yeah, give me Corey Sandhagen. I can't tell you how, but I think he's going to get this one done. Notice how I haven't predicted many like hows in this fight. In this fight card, I'm just saying how it's going. That's just because I can't really. These fights are pretty close, man. Like all of them. Royval and Loner, Green and McKinney, Benoit and Patty, Sandhagen and Batista, which we're going into Benoit and Patty now. Benoit and Patty, number 5 ranked lightweight in the world, Benoit Saint-Denis, versus the number 6 ranked fighter in the world, lightweight fighter in the world, Patty Pimblett. So, Benoit's coming off a win against Dan Hooker back at UFC 325 earlier this year. Prior to that, he beat the brakes off of Beneil Dariush. Prior to that, he beat Mauricio Ruffi, which, holy shit, you beat Mauricio Ruffi. And, yeah, man, ever since that Dustin Poirier loss, bro, he's just been upgraded. Sometimes that's what happens, Like, Benoit is such a good fighter now. And people know him now. And he's, like, so well-rounded. He's got so many things that he does. And I love this guy. Honestly, if France wasn't so high on Cyril Gahn, I would say Benoit Saint-Denis right there. He should be your guy, Because that guy goes in there and he's a fucking Terminator. That dude is like, I'm going in to destroy, You are my target. I am going to fucking kick your ass, I don't care how I do it. He did it with Dustin. He did it with everybody else that he's fought since Dustin. Like, he went in there and said, you are my target. I'm going to destroy you, That's just him. He's a fucking marauder. That's the word I was looking for. That's what he is. He's a fucking marauder. And then Patty Pimblett is just Patty Pimblett. I love Patty for all of his activism for men's mental health. I think that's great. He did lose a close friend by suicide. And, of course, my heart always goes out to him and his activism for mental health and all of that. He has exceptional jiu-jitsu skills, no matter what the case is. He's got really bad striking, though. He does not have great striking. He has a wonderful chin. Don't get me wrong. He ate so many Gaethje shots that would put anybody else out. Maybe he had a point when he said, I'm a scouser. I don't get knocked out. Like, there's my Patty impression. But, I had to just get a little bit nasally with it. So, I mean, I guess he was right, man. Scousers really don't get knocked out. I'm
that was the word you were looking for, scouser.
Yeah, that's the one.
You get that word, you got the
I got Patty.
Down.
I got Patty. It's just so crazy. It's like, Patty Pimblett, man, I will say he looks better now than he did in his debut. He's gained a couple more stripes. He's gained a lot of experience. going up against guys like Michael Chandler, going up against guys like Justin Gaethje especially, our current champion. That is big time for Paddy Pimblett's development as a fighter, and I'm excited to see how he's actually going to be able to implement that in this fight against Benoit. But Benoit, on the other hand, he's gotta keep it rolling, baby. He's gotta keep grinding it out. He's gotta keep doing it. As the odds currently have it, it's also another close fight. It's another close fight. We have a minus 155 favorite for Benoit Saint Denis to the plus 130 underdog in Paddy Pimblett. So both guys have their skills in different areas of martial arts. I would say Benoit's the more well-rounded fighter. However, Paddy's a bit of a specialist when it comes to groundwork, but you can't really advance your groundwork if the dude above you is applying too much pressure. Because jiu-jitsu is a rather more like smooth and slower moving martial art than wrestling is, and Benoit uses wrestling more than he does jiu-jitsu, while Paddy uses more jiu-jitsu rather than wrestling. So I think this fight's really going to come down to the striking, and if it's a striking battle, Benoit, you know. So for all of these reasons, though, I'm excited to see how Paddy's development is past the Justin Gaethje beating. I'm happy that he's back and he's not too discouraged by that loss to fucking plot armor protected Justin Gaethje. So I don't know. I have trouble predicting this fight. I really do, because I keep going back and forth because like I don't know what Paddy's gonna look like now. You know, so he could look like total shit, or he could look like $1,000,000. And because that volatility is so great, I gotta just go with Benoit, just for sake of consistency. Like, I know how Benoit fights, but there is a strong potential, maybe, that Paddy Pimblett learned a lesson from Justin Gaethje and is a better fighter because of it. So, but since the volatility of Pimblett is so high, he can either look like total garbage or look like $1,000,000. Yeah, and plus, when you get a beating like that, especially from Justin Gaethje, Lord knows where your career goes after that. Tony Ferguson took a beating like that, and he was never the same after it. But Michael Chandler took a beating like that, and he wasn't really the same after it. So, I mean, the Gaethje effect is real, but just purely off consistency basis and what I've seen out of both these guys, I am way more impressed with Benoit Saint Denis than I am with Paddy Pimblett, but I'm not discrediting Paddy Pimblett.
Especially after Sandiny's loss.
Yes, yeah, exactly. So, I don't know. What you thinking, Ant?
So, for this fight, I've explained this twice on this specific video that we're going to be posting tonight.
Yes.
I don't like putting my eggs in the baskets. And I
No.
mentioned this guy in this particular match earlier today. Paddy the Baddy Pimblett. Never jumped on his hype train. Not once. And I think another thing that I'm going to point out here is you said he didn't want the rematch with Gaethje if he won this.
Yeah, if he wins this fight, he doesn't want the rematch.
That is a hell of a lot more telling of a fighter and their development to me than most other things. It's the humility that they learn from and grow and adapt with. Be that as it may, I am not going to discredit Benoit Saint Denis, because to me it's like, if we were to give them rankings, because I love my SmackDown vs. Raw, I don't know if you guys have played that.
Love those games.
They have rankings for all those. If Benoit Saint Denis is an 8 in all his stats, Paddy's a 7.
Yeah.
It's just he's got that little bit more. That tiny bit more, well, it may discipline, practice, whatever, that sets him that little peg higher that
Just
I'm going to put my eggs in that basket. But this is one of the fights where, judging on how well Paddy does, he might be a fighter I start looking towards and putting my eggs in the basket. I was like, yeah, he learned from his fight. He's getting better. I saw the improvement myself. Yeah. And so now I get to follow him and root for him.
If this could be like the Sean O'Malley and Ayman Zahabi type performance for you, and if Paddy comes out on top, the fact that he was even humble enough to admit that he wouldn't want a rematch, that just shows that he did learn a lesson. He did learn that holy shit, the upper echelon of lightweight, aside from Michael Chandler, is insane. There's a reason why that old guard hasn't quite faltered yet. It's still there. Matter of fact, one of them's the fucking champ now. So, I mean, I swear to God, when all is said and done with these guys and they hang up the gloves like the old guard of lightweight, their fucking careers need to be studied by science. They really do. Because how in the fuck, at 37 years old, you're able to beat this hotshot upstart and a bunch of other guys below you that have been hungry and look great. How have you done this? The unks of lightweight need to be studied. Because what the fuck are you on? What are you doing? How have you stayed this long? And how have you stayed competitive for this long? We've been talking about Justin Gaethje. We've been talking about Charles Oliveira. We've been talking about all these motherfuckers. Max Holloway. We've been. I would say Michael Chandler, but Michael Chandler's dwindling. But we've been talking about all these guys: Max Holloway, Justin Gaethje, Charles Oliveira for how long? And we've been watching these guys how long? And even before you hopped on the train, before even I hopped on the train, these guys were doing work. Like I hopped in 2020, guys. I'm not that much beyond in my development as length than Anthony here. I only have 2 years on him. That's it. But it's just so like we've been talking about all these guys. They were doing waves back then. Before we even got on this shit, the mid 2010s we're talking about these guys. Now it's the mid 2020s and we're still here. We're still here. These guys are insane. They need to be studied. They really do. I don't know, Ant. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Like the unks of lightweight need to be studied when all is said and done. They really do. But I've taken Benoit. And you're taking Benoit. But man, Patty, you could prove us wrong in this fight. You really can. Because
and I don't think I'd be upset.
Me neither. I'm like going into like this fight with Paddy Pimblett the same way I went into his Gaethje fight. Like, you could impress me here, like, and because Gaethje was coming off of like a Ziv win, that big knockout with Holloway, we weren't really sure what was going on. So like, we're like, Patty, you could impress us here. And granted, Justin Gaethje just decided to kick back the clock like it's 2019 again, and proceeded to give this kid an ass whooping.
Like, let me show you what I can do.
And but nah, like Patty, you could impress us here. If you beat Benoit, honestly, if I'm real, that might be more impressive than if you beat Gaethje. Because Benoit's just been that good. For the past 2 years, he's been that good. He's just climbing up the ranks as he goes. Taking his opportunities, and not really demanding much. Because, I mean, the last time he called out a fighter, he got knocked the fuck out. Dustin Poirier. So, I mean, that was crazy. But, nah, I'm taking Benoit for this one. But, Patty, you could impress us here. And you're not a very heavy underdog going into this. You're really not. You're only plus 130. It's not bad. I mean, if you guys wanted to, you could bet on Patty. And you could put your eggs in that basket and see what happens. But I don't know. I don't have enough data to suggest that I would do that. But, that being said, that's the co-main event. That I'm calling to be fight of the night.
And that is actually going to be the main event because the next one isn't.
Because the next one's not happening. So this next fight here, it is considered the main event. It says on the card that it's the main event. I don't give a shit that we're on this website, UFC.com, and it says that Conor McGregor is facing Max Holloway, but this shit isn't happening.
This is all alleged, hypothetical, and theoretical.
Exactly. This isn't confirmed. Nothing. This is not going to happen. This fight is not happening until Conor McGregor and Max Holloway are in the cage. The door is shut. Announcements are done, and the bell rings. When that happens, I will flip shit and say, "Oh my God, McGregor's back."
Even then, I still won't count it until the clock ticks to 4:59. Then I'll be like,
"Oh my God!" It's your first. You're gonna assuming this fight happens. This is completely hypothetical. This is completely hypothetical, but this would be your first Conor McGregor card, yes?
Yes.
Wow. I've seen 3.
See, I already know what's going to happen. He's going to go out And then he's gonna get himself a titanium toe.
He needs a titanium toe bone. Not that titanium toe bone, kid.
Show his titanium shit.
To go with a titanium shin bone. We definitely gotta. If this fight happens, obviously, which it won't. We gotta pick up proper 12 for this fight. If we're out of it, we need some of it.
We will not be out of it.
We will not be out of it come July 11th, assuming this fight happens. I know on the front of the bill it says Conor McGregor's fighting Max Holloway. But
That's
guys,
just to hype it up.
You can't bet on it. You can't bet on it, especially when we're talking about this stage Conor McGregor. You know. So anyway, guys, this is a welterweight bout.
Okay.
It's at 170, which makes sense. Conor McGregor's been walking around like a fucking refrigerator kid for the better part of 3 years now.
I think we all saw Roadhouse, right?
Yeah, he's walking around like a fucking refrigerator kid. So I mean, he's really bulked up the past couple years, especially the last 3 in particular. I mean, he went on a shit ton of medical steroids to heal that leg up. Obviously, the last time we saw Conor McGregor, it was July 10th, 2021. I still remember the date. Because I'm just crazy when it comes to dates. But July 11th, 2021, Conor McGregor in his trilogy bout with Dustin Poirier. Dustin Poirier is now retired. And facing legal charges, but isn't that crazy? Dustin Poirier went on a drunken stupor and got arrested, and Conor McGregor's headlining the next UFC card. Oh, what? Somebody moved a fucking chair. Some time traveler moved a fucking chair, and this is the timeline we're on. This is some bullshit, but it's nuts. But this is a welterweight bout, and we have not seen Conor McGregor 5 years. It's been 5 years. To this point, it's going to be 5 years nearly on the mark since we last saw Conor McGregor in the UFC octagon. This sport has changed a ton in those 5 years. Those 5 short years, even. I'll even beg, short years. Because they didn't feel that long, you know? These 5 short years that Conor McGregor has been out, this sport has been almost flipped on its axis.
I was just thinking about the champions right there.
Because you think back, when Conor McGregor was fighting, right? The champion of lightweight at the time was Charles Oliveira. Khabib just retired, right? Featherweight champ was Prime Volk still. And we had our bantamweight champion was Aljamain Sterling, who won it off DQ. But, our flyweight champion at the time they were fighting was Brandon Moreno. He had just won it, he had just won it. And in the second fight between Moreno and Figueiredo, and then they had 2 other ones after that. The bantamweight champion was Aljamain Sterling. And then they had an interim championship fight. Petr Yan beat Sandhagen. Faced him again. Let's think about it. Let's see. Who was the welterweight champ at the time? Kamaru Usman was the welterweight champ at the time. Israel Adesanya. Huh?
Nigerian Nightmare Usman.
Yeah, the prime Usman. the big dog Usman. Then we had Israel Adesanya, still hot in the style bender era at this point. In 2021, he had just defended it against Marvin Vettori to that point. The last card before that, Israel Adesanya beat Marvin Vettori, and Brandon Moreno beat Davison Figueiredo. They were newly minted champions. They have since won their belts, lost their belts, and attempted to go for them again, but didn't go well. Let's see. Who was our light heavyweight champ at the time? Light heavyweight champ at the time. Let's see. July 2021. Was Jan Blachowicz. Dude, Jan Blachowicz was the champ. This was before the Teixeira fight. The Teixeira was still fighting and actively competing. Yuri Prochazka wasn't even in title contention yet. Dominic Reyes was in the middle of a down spiral. Let's see. Who was the heavyweight champ? Francis Ngannou, who's not even with the goddamn company anymore, just won the heavyweight title off of Stipe Miocic in March of that year.
Dude, half a decade.
That's half a decade. And that is what the UFC's championship landscape looked like. The last time Conor McGregor was in the UFC octagon. Who else? McGregor was still top 5. He was number 4. McGregor hasn't been ranked in the UFC for 3 years. 3 years. This dude has not been ranked in the UFC. Or 2.5, something like that. Who else was up there with him? Charles Oliveira was there. Michael Chandler was in there. But Neil Dariush was still a top 5 contender at the time. Islam Makhachev, people asked what with Islam Makhachev at the time. People said, Ilya who? At the time. Everybody's like, Dracus Duplessis who? At the time. Because another fun fact about UFC 264, Poirier and McGregor, Dracus Duplessis and Ilya Topuria were on that card. In the prelims. They went on to be champions. Like, Islam Makhachev wasn't even heard of yet. People, knew the name, kind of, but it wasn't until Khabib started, really training with him. Khabib started really training with him at this time, because he wasn't competing anymore. And he had to initiate Father Plan, He had to go initiate Operation Father Plan. So, that's what he did. Let's see, who else was ranked at the top of the lightweight at the time? Justin Gaethje just came off a loss to Khabib in his retirement fight. The last time Conor McGregor was in the fucking octagon. Guys, it's been a long time since we've seen McGregor.
So much has changed.
So much has changed. And it's tough to think about it that way because, I think back at that time, it wasn't all that long ago. It was. It really was. I was a junior in high school the last time Conor McGregor fought. I just graduated college. And Conor McGregor has not fought in that entire time.
And he still won't be
fighting. Obviously, this is all hypothetical.
Unfortunately.
This is all hypothetical scenario here. And Max Holloway was still a featherweight at the time. He was gatekeeping. He was
still the wall.
He was the wall for Alexander Volkanovski. The last time Conor McGregor was in the fucking octagon. Dude, what the fuck? This was right after. I'm the best boxer in the UFC, baby. Right after. Dude, it's been so fucking long since we've seen Conor McGregor. And it's like, you can see it on my face. It's actually hitting me hardcore right now. I'm like, oh my god. The UFC's completely different now, and I just watched that happen. I just flew by like a drunk Friday night. That's what it flew by like. But, holy shit. That was nuts. Oh god. I'm reflecting now. It's been so long since the last time we saw this motherfucker in the UFC octagon. And the last time he came in, he broke his leg against Dustin Poirier, who's fucking retired now. Oh, and had 2 title fights after that. Oh my god. Oh, Max Holloway. Completely different guy. He's moving up a weight class again. This is the second time he's moving up a weight class in 2 years, roughly. So, that's crazy. That's nuts. I saw a picture of him on Instagram recently at the beach with his wife and his son. And he's looking pretty big. He's looking good. But so is Conor McGregor. And the thing is, my coach was joking with me my last session, right? I was in there, and I was like, okay, well, he asked me, Steven, what's the likelihood that Conor McGregor makes it to the octagon on July 11th? I'm like, what, are we 2 weeks out? And he's like, yeah, we're about 2 weeks out. I'm like, I give him 60%. You want to know why I gave him 60% and not 52%? The reason why I did that was because when Dustin Poirier went and did the thing that we were talking about at the beginning of this podcast, McGregor didn't say a goddamn word. Which tells me he's kind of focused on something else right now. Because if Conor McGregor wasn't fighting, and it was like a year ago this happened, 2 years ago this happened, this same shit, McGregor would have been on his ass. McGregor would have been on his ass as fast as Colby Covington was on his ass. He said nothing. Which tells me he's probably focused, or just waiting to talk all the shit after he supposedly fights Max Holloway. But that's why I gave him because my coach was like 60. He goes, Steven, that's pretty high for you with McGregor. I'm like, because he didn't say anything when Dustin Poirier fucked up. That's literally the reason why. So I'm like, okay, we'll see how this goes. Max Holloway, his last time out was against Charles Oliveira to defend the BMF belt. He got outclassed and outperformed against. So definitely Max Holloway's looking to get that back. He's looking to do a good performance here. It's against a guy he can beat. And this is a rematch, guys. This is a rematch for Conor McGregor and Max Holloway. Conor McGregor and Max Holloway fought back in 2013. That was Conor McGregor's rookie year in the UFC. It was like maybe his second, third fight in the UFC was Max Holloway. This is before the McGregor fandom happened. This is before he exploded. This is before the trash talk. This is before the titles. This is before any of that.
Anyone knew the Greggy persona?
And nobody knew it yet. Nobody knew Max Holloway either. You know? Like, nobody knew these guys at the time that they first fought. Conor McGregor did come out victorious. He won by a unanimous decision in this fight. Max Holloway did not get put away, even though he did eat a couple of really good shots from McGregor. So they fought to a decision. Conor McGregor won, tore his ACL in the fight, though. So he was out for better part of a year after that. So, since then, Conor McGregor went on to become a two-weight division champion, and Max Holloway would go on to become a featherweight champion and compete for the lightweight championship. Yeah, both guys have become big stars in the UFC. Both guys created their own brand. Both guys have had excellent fights. Since these two guys last fought, they've had full careers. These are not the same two kids that fought back in 2013. These are two completely different guys at two completely different points in their career than when they first met. So it's like it's brand new, you know? Like before the stardom, before the titles, before any of that. That was when they fought, you know? So to go back on that, fight and like use that as a barometer to compare this one is stupid. It really is. Both guys have transcended that version of themselves. And it's truly cool to see. I mean, granted, Conor McGregor's been away for quite some time. You know, Max Holloway stayed consistent. Max Holloway, I would say, is the better striker between the two of them. Not saying that McGregor can't land anything. Definitely can, and I can almost guarantee he probably still has some power left in there. You know, especially at a higher weight class now. So I can almost guarantee Conor probably has some power in there. Max Holloway, I mean, he's bulking up pretty hard. Conor McGregor's cutting down. You know, you look at the metrics of this fight, and really the size doesn't necessarily affect the entire thing, though. Both guys are pretty evenly matched on the feet. Both guys aren't really much of a grappling threat. Only issue is Conor McGregor's a power puncher that usually only has about a round and a half worth of cardio in his tank. Even in his prime, he didn't go much. He didn't go the distance much. He only went to decision in his prime, like maybe twice. Yeah, I think it was twice he went to a decision.
And did it with Holloway the first time, right?
It was Holloway the first time, and Nate Diaz the second time. It's the only time Conor McGregor really went into like a final round. You know, McGregor most of the time just got people out of there in like round 1 or round 2, and that was it. You know, Max Holloway is known for enduring. You know, but will that endurance carry over with the extra weight? I mean, you can never know for sure, obviously. But I think both guys are going to be in rather unfamiliar territory. I mean, we haven't seen Conor McGregor at welterweight since the Cerrone fight. Last time he fought at welterweight was against Cowboy Cerrone back in January of 2020. When he knocked him out in about 30 seconds. So, and then again, he knocked out Cowboy Cerrone in 30 seconds. And this was not a prime Cowboy Cerrone. This was just exiting his prime. Cowboy Cerrone. And this was McGregor coming fresh off the Khabib loss. That was his first fight after the Khabib loss, was Donald Cerrone. So, then he fought Dustin Poirier, lost to Dustin Poirier, fought Dustin Poirier again, broke his leg, that's it. Which sucks, because Conor McGregor, if I look back at that time period, was legitimately, like, actively fighting. You know, he fought Dustin in January, fought him again in July, you know? And, world circumstances pretty much prevented Conor McGregor from competing again in 2020 because, well, pandemic would strike in March and he couldn't quite come over to America because the, restrictions in Ireland and then, restrictions here in the U.S. on people coming in and out for vacations, all that stuff. So world circumstances pretty much canceled McGregor for the rest of 2020. Came back 2021, Abu Dhabi Fight Island. And after the UFC decided to, make a place where people could go if they couldn't fight in the United States. They made the Fight Island over in Abu Dhabi where fighters can go, like international fighters can fight there, and if they couldn't come to America. If they could fight in America, they fought in Jacksonville or like Jacksonville, Florida, or Vegas. Yeah. It was Vegas at the Apex or Jacksonville, Florida, because Florida had very lax restrictions at the time. So, Florida, Vegas, Fight Island. Those are the only 3 places you could fight. Conor McGregor couldn't quite make it to the States, so he fought at Fight Island, and that's how it went. And he was actively fighting. And I wouldn't doubt that if that fight went on, and we got a decisive victor, Conor probably would have fought again, because he was actually, trying to fight. There was legitimately a time when we were like, all right, so, guys, this is just how long it's been, right? It's just how long it's been. There was legitimately talks in, August of 2022-ish, a year after McGregor broke his leg. And we were all like, all right, when's Conor going to come back? There were legitimate talks that Conor McGregor would fight Kamaru Usman. Legitimate talks that Kamaru Usman would fight Conor McGregor. Then, obviously, McGregor didn't come back, and Usman got knocked out by Leon Edwards, and that fight never came to be. But there was a time where we were legitimately talking about Conor McGregor facing Kamaru Usman. And it probably would have happened, if I'm honest with you. It probably would have happened. Because it's Conor McGregor. That's the McGregor privilege. But history books aside, you don't need me to tell you much about both of these guys. I pretty much just said what everybody already knows.
Oh, I think we've done a special on both of them.
I don't think we did one on Conor.
No, we must have done it with the rivalry.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, we did a rivalry.
We did quite a bit of in-depth coverage there too.
Yeah, I mean, with the rival series, I think we just went into McGregor and Khabib really heavy, and we looked into their fight careers before they met each other, and that was how it went. And Max Holloway, we went hella in depth with his career, both times. So, that being said, if this fight happens,
which it won't,
I see a reality where Conor could get this done. I really do think there's a legitimate chance that Conor McGregor could knock out Max Holloway here. Also, this is not really too related, but Max Holloway got the cover of the UFC game. And I don't think I need you to
not really too related. I don't need to tell you.
But Max Holloway got the cover of the UFC game. The UFC 6 that just came out. And if you know anything about the UFC game, if you're on the cover, you're cursed.
Out of curiosity, how is his badass title going? How's that going for Max Holloway?
Oh, what, his BMF title?
Yeah.
I mean, it's gone. Charles has it,
Oh, damn.
Charles has
the cover.
And they gave Max the cover on the deluxe edition. On the deluxe edition of UFC 6, they gave Max Holloway the cover.
And they got him in another fight, right? Yeah. 2 weeks out? Yeah, about that.
So, and need I tell you, Alex Pereira got the cover of the base game.
Ah, yes. And how's he doing?
And he just lost badly. I'm not gonna be too superstitious here, but I'm gonna be a little stitious. This is part of the reason why I'm like, okay, maybe Conor McGregor actually has a chance here, but I actually do legitimately think Conor does have a shot. He always has a shot. But logically speaking, Max Holloway should walk out of this fight victorious. So I will be taking Max Holloway. I'm not going to say how, because I'm not that confident, but I'm going to say Max Holloway walks away with a victory and becomes the first fighter to break the curse.
I'm going to say I'm right there with you on all the points, but I think I have a more in-depth opinion of this. Okay.
Go for it.
So let me just assure everyone what I've got here. Hell yeah, there's a way Conor McGregor comes out the victor. And I'll tell you why I give more leverage to that. It's because going up a weight class always fucking sucks and casts doubt. If you need me to point an example, how's Pereira doing?
Mm-hmm.
So, in reality, with that being said, the best shot McGregor has for this is first round. Maybe second round.
First round, definitely.
If it goes on longer than that, it looks more and more like Max Holloway's going to take the win.
Because Max is faster, he endures more. That's just how it goes.
It's his endurance, really. Mm-hmm. There's only fucking guy knocking him out. Who's knocks out our favorite guys? Except he didn't this time.
He didn't this time. Justin Gaethje.
But that's where I draw that from.
Mm-hmm.
The longer this goes on, and even I could see it being earlier, it's just less likely.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say first round, it's probably 70-30 for Holloway. Like 70% Greggy, 30 for Holloway to win. And then it steadily goes up.
For Holloway,
Yeah,
as the fight
yeah.
progresses.
By 3, it's like 85% Holloway, 15 Greggy.
Yeah.
But none of this actually matters, so it's not going to happen.
Exactly.
But hypothetically, I would tell you, Holloway's got this because he's been more active, and so he knows how to take the beatings, with there being the only exception of fucking Ilya, who decides to just knock out our favorite guys.
Or Charles Oliveira,
Yeah.
looking for a big win. When Charles is looking for a big win, the man's unstoppable. As the odds currently have it, since we kind of already went through the whole fight now, the odds currently have it, and it's a fair ranking, I would say. It's a plus 205 underdog for Conor McGregor, and a minus 250 favorite for Max Holloway, which is less of a margin than it was originally. I remember looking at the odds of this fight originally; it was like plus 350 for Conor McGregor. But now it's plus 205 to minus 250. It's a bit closer, but still very much Max favored.
I'm very, very fucking iffy on fucking Holloway and welterweight.
It's just tough because that's so much weight that you've added onto your body in such a short amount of time. And
is that 170?
it's 170.
Yeah.
And coming from 155 to 170, that's a big jump, you know? You gotta get big. Yeah, you gotta get big. And then you gotta get the muscle. Once you get the muscle, then you gotta lean out. And that's tough to do. Especially when you're just getting used to cutting to 155.
If there's someone who can do it,
It's Max though.
I'm gonna say it's the guy who likes his ramen.
Yeah, it's Max though. I mean, I think Max has this. Every single statistic tells me that Max should have this. But I just have this looming feeling that Conor McGregor could somehow get this done. Somehow, some way, against every method of logic.
Except for that curse.
Except for that curse, the UFC cover curse. Every metric in measurement and fighting style, activity, and just everything, accolades even, I would say Max Holloway has outdone Conor McGregor's legacy as, just purely competitive. Conor McGregor's legacy as popularity and as a fighter, that's unmatched. Nobody's going to do that. But I'm saying just purely competition, like fights and titles. Max Holloway, like big fights, good fights, and titles, that is Max Holloway. He's a better striker. He is more volume-oriented. He has better cardio. Like, literally every metric tells me that Max Holloway should be winning this fight. But I don't know anymore, guys. UFC has been so weird this year. There have been so many underdog victories I was so certain they would lose, and then they just won.
It's okay, because the fight's not going to happen.
It's true. I don't have to worry about it. The fight's not going to happen. I don't have to worry about it. But that is Conor McGregor, Max Holloway, UFC 329, International Fight Week, headliner, Las Vegas, Nevada, 9 p.m., main card. Be there, be square. That's all of our conversation. It's a longer one, guys. Sorry, we had a lot to talk about.
We did. We had to build up for this. I was aware I was in Pennsylvania last week, so we couldn't do
We couldn't really do this. So,
yeah. Back at it, of course. You know it.
Of course.
You know it. It's going to be in rotation for a bit longer than our last one.
Which is excellent. Very good. Because our last one was only in rotation for like a day. Because your boy was late on the upload because I worked too much. And that's that. But that's it, guys. Big episode. Apologies. But if you guys stuck around this long, leave us a like. Give us a comment. Thanks for sticking around with us. And we'll see you next time.
Take it away.